was abandoned for 30 years, now has 6 poultry houses with 18 pens that contain about 15,000 birds, 3 goat houses with 196 goats, and 3 houses for pigs containing 108 pigs. You know, this is a jargon, honestly speaking. You know, these people, they don't. The Sariki Fulani of Imo State, the Supreme Court governor of Imo State, is in a mission. Yes. Do you see the caliphate, Fulani? If you hold them this side, they come from the other side. What this man is doing is extremely nonsense. What this man is doing, because I believe that through here, before you know it, there will be military camp there, and it will be the place for the Fulanis. That is it. That is it. You know, there's something smart they did here. They didn't write about cow. That is what I observe. They wrote about chicken, goats, pig, but they never talk about cow, so that people will be appeased. Oh, no, it doesn't. You know, our people are easily deceived. And this is one of our problems, because we are easily deceived. I'm going to talk about it, because today, as I say, the topic is the topic of my discussion, trying to understand the causes of our predicaments, because everybody agree that we are in a predicament, in a problem. Or the problem is identifying the root cause. The solution, we have had the solution. That's it. Solution is Biafra. Now, why we also talk about all these things, so that people will understand. Because as I said before, here, what we are doing is the most difficult job. Do you understand? The most difficult job of trying to make us reason in another way. Enlightenment. It is with enlightenment that our leader gathered us together. Do you understand? Enlightenment. Preaching of the truth, which is scientific, factual. In as much as you hate the way it can insult, it can do this and that, but when you listen to the substance of what he said, you say, nah, what this man is saying is true too. That is the only thing that matters. That is the only thing that matters. As you confirm it, now what they preach here is true. It doesn't matter what the language we use or the tune we use. That is not, all these are insignificant. What matters is what we are preaching. So this man who puts on them in order to try to appease, deceive. No, I'm not saying even appeasing. Deceive. They smartly remove anything concerning cow, because they know that from next month, after the deadline, that any Fulani cow becomes a fair game in our land. That is the reality. People know what to do, because once anything is banned, it's banned. We are the people, we are everywhere. So we shouldn't start, crying for DOS to come and enforce it for us. Oh, please bring ESN. No. Enforcement is for everybody. Once IPOB pronounces, like this ban on cow, Fulani cow, Nama, not a Igbo, there must be difference. Now everybody can become an enforcer. If you go buy cow, say you want to do ceremony, or you are killing it to do this and that, anything that you see, it will be a problem. That is the reality. Because everybody now will be on the watch out. We are the grassroots, we are the people. So what Hope Uzodinma is doing, the normal thing, deception, Ruga in disguise. Because this is part of the thing, part of why he is there. But are we going to allow this? The answer is no. Our people, why we are doing, because our people have over concentrated on buying food. Do you understand me? I could remember when I was growing in our village. Hardly we buy, only maybe sometimes fish or meat. Sometimes even without fish or meat, you know, my mother will cook very tasty food, tasty soup with local things from the locality, snail, arrow, everything which we gather. But the Fulani economic strangulation has made us pushed everybody into believing that we pursue only paper money. Do you understand me? And I know this experience everybody, I know everybody in the diaspora is having it, many people. Our people that depends on send me. When you ask them, things are costly. G de kwa costly, you see, so you cannot farm yam, there is land. Lion fallow. You cannot farm yam and cassava. Everything you buy, because every time you receive. Receive cocoa a lot. These are the things that contributed to our people's laziness. Do you understand? You can buy. What we are trying to do is to reverse this destruction. I call it destruction, devastation. Because when we allow our enemies to be the source of our food, we are finished. Have you seen how many times the Fulani they will threaten? Oh, we will cut up sending onions and tomato. We will not send yam. We will not send food stuff. Imagine that we are depending on them completely. Imagine. These people, they are strategic. That has been the reason why they dispatched their headsmen, terrorist headsmen, Fulani headsmen, to go and continue causing mayhem, killing, so that in order to implant fear in our people, so that we stop going to farms, they will occupy the bushes. And now no feeding, because what happens in the forest is what sustains the people life. That is what sustains life. Do you understand? These people, they are strategic, but IPOB is more strategic than them. We have understood them. Our eyes are shining like a torch every time, watching which hand they carry come. As we said the other day, what they carry come today now, hunting. They are hunting. Now they know they are hunting. Do you know that normally even hunting should be regulated? Everything, fishing, hunting should be regulated in a good system of government. Hunting is regulated because you shouldn't allow animals to be killed anyhow. You should take permit before hunting. All these things are what we should do when we control our destiny, when we have Biafra. Fishing, it should be regulated in our rivers and streams. There is a river that passes a rush. Sometimes even you cannot even see big fish again because of overfishing. I could remember when we are small, sometimes I say Nnamdi. When you go to rush, you see dead fish rising up. No control. Not today they started dealing with us, I'm telling you. And we are laughing. We are laughing into extinction. But today, thank God that our leader, Mazi Johnathan, has opened our eyes. And all of us now are naked wire watching. Watching whatever they want to do. Therefore, we must continue. This so-called hectare in Imo State, in a great farm, this and that, this is part of the Ruga. We should rise up and say no to this. That's the reality. Before I start, I will say stop calling these people the House of Fulani. There is nothing like a House of Fulani as a people, as one people. What we have are the Hausa and Fulani as different ethnicities, different people, different tribes. The history of the presence of the Fulani in Hausa land started only 1804. The apex, their presence of Ottoman Dan Fodio, who came using religion in order to manipulate the Hausas into killing themselves and conquering themselves for him, for the Fulani Caliphate, which the Fulani they are enjoying today. You go to some places, Hausa communities and other ethnicities that are non-Fulani. But one Fulani is the emir is a Fulani man. Every other indigenous is a Hausa, but their emir, their king, is a Fulani man. They turned them into slaves, Almajiris. Please stop calling them the House of Fulani. And the Hausas should take the bull by the horn by turning against their subjugators. The Fulani, they are not your friends. They are not your siblings. Forget about the intermarriage that was initiated by Ottoman Dan Fodio in order to compromise, to blur the line between the Hausa and the Fulani, so that they will be calling Hausa Fulani. That is a deception. Why is it? Ask yourself, why is it that in every Hausa community or non-Fulani community in the north and middle belt, they are encroaching even down to Benue. Their Sarikin, their emir is always a Fulani. Even their governors, politicians, and a few of the indigenous people that are compromised, saboteurs. Do you understand? Why is it so? If you are the same, you are not the same. This is a grand deception. Please stop falling for their deception. Today, what is happening in the north, even news doesn't carry it any longer. They massacre. They are wiping out communities. They're Fulani on the rampage. Bandits on the rampage. Have you ever seen where they say, we captured bandits? No. They proscribe them, bandits. All you hear in the news is, bandits were bombed and many killed. These are just talk, no video, nothing, only talk to deceive the gullible. These bandits, these are the Fulani, organized Fulani jihadists. They are using state power, state resources, organizing them and funding them, providing everything and covering them up. Do you understand? Please stop calling them House of Fulani. The Hausas and other ethnicities in the north should rise up against their oppressor. The oppressor is the Fulani and nothing more. You continue aligning with them. They use you. They call you willing tools. They use you at will. When they want, they call, we not. We not. We are saying we not. No. But after, when they get what they want, with your help, now they take 100 billion naira as Mietiala. Now they become Fulani, becomes the identity. No more not. Do you understand? No more House of Fulani. Do you see how smart they are? Exploiting you, killing you. Many communities in the north are being wiped out daily, occupied by the Fulani jihadis. They replace them, whereas the original owners of the land are in the refugee camps. Do you see what they are committing? And the Nigerian media, they don't dare talk about it. They are afraid because they have warned them several times. Stop talking in it, all these killings in the north. And they stopped it. Only the one that are maybe somebody individual with video and put on social media. The Nigerian media will pick it from there and say, according to social media user, people were killed. And I also watch what is happening in Edo State, in Edo. Quietly, the Fulani, they are on the rampage. In Edo, even Edo, they go on the rampage, killing people, and they don't act. You saw corpses littered everywhere in the streets of one community in Edo. And you wonder what is happening. These are killed by the Fulani. They are on the rampage. These people, they cause confusion between us. They will come and tell you, hey, Igbos are your problem. Don't allow Igbos. As you are watching Igbos to keep your eye on the Igbos, they are striking you from behind. Who is the stupid person? Anyway, a word is sufficient for the wise. Our leader have been preaching this for many years. And we continue. Therefore, as I said, the topic of the discussion of today will be trying to understand the causes of our predicaments. It is a cause for concern why we are in this mess. And many of our people still didn't understand. They are still going on, ignorance. They are still doing things, selling their own people, selling their brother. Look at Devil Mai. After everything, after killing Sin Ebony, after boasting that he will destroy IPOB, for what? No, these people, they are too arrogant. They don't engage in any meaningful argument or discussion. Okay, our leader have been sounding right from the one. Please, I need people to come and debate with me, to convince me on why I should drop this agitation. If your argument is superior to mine, I will bow out. Is this not fair play? Is what no person. Instead, what this idea, what are you agitating for? This and that, we will crush all of you. Is that how to stop something? Is that how to convince the people that you are, you have good intention for us? Now tell us the advantages we have. Tell us why we should remain in the same one quagmire called Nigeria. No, all is by force. Instead, you bring python dance, you bring a bubago. That one is not you bring every time you bring telephone to report, to track and kill. You can never destroy an ideology with force, brutal force. It's impossible. If ideology would have been destroyed, there wouldn't have been nothing like Judaism even. The mainstream Judaism. Because they suffered persecutions all over Europe for more than 2,000 years. But today they have a powerful country. Sometimes I say human beings, they don't learn from history. I'm telling you honestly. Because they are arrogant. Only when you are reading it, when it has passed, it becomes written in history. Why this man behave like this now? Wow. But in your own time, if you are in the shoe, you will behave the same way. Even as you have read the history, you still behave in the same way. Now, as I say, trying to understand the causes of our predicaments. Now, first of all, I want us to discuss talk a bit about our way of life. Our way of life. Biafrans, when we talk about Igbo, please know that I'm talking about the entirety of everybody, Biafra. Our way of life. Do you know we never conquered anybody? As Igbos, we never conquered anybody. We believe in humanity and equity. Do you understand? It's our force, but they turn it against us. It becomes a kind of weakness. We never conquered anybody. That is why in our land today we have multi-clans who speak their languages. Do you know that where you call Oduduwa or Yoruba, not all were Yoruba, but they were subjugated. Egba. Many of them, they are different languages, but they forced them under conquest to be speaking the same language. And today you are seeing them as oh, they are one people. No, it wasn't like that. You know, we became victims of our goodness, but it is our way of life. That's it. It is our way of life. We believe in humanity and equity. You know, that's why we call mankendo life. Human being is the beauty of life. But nonetheless, we also suffer from primitive selfishness, which is universal to mankind. Do you understand me? This selfishness, it is not only limited to us. It is everywhere in the world. Let me tell you. It is everywhere in the world. This selfishness, primitive selfishness, it is everywhere. But the issue is that our own still stuck. The Europeans, they were highly selfish. That is why, do you know that the Europeans, they fought many more wars than even Africa? Tribal wars and religious wars. They fought among themselves. They killed themselves. Do you know that even the colonization of many countries, Americas, Africa, many people they exported, they were forced into exile, even in the America today, from Europe, that formed the colonies. It's just like that. They pursued their own people, say you must go that far place. Instead of killing them, now they throw them inside there. People that have slightly different opinion religiously, the Huguenots also, they suffer the same thing. Many of them were thrown into South Africa today. The people you call the Africans today, the Boers from Netherlands mostly, and England and France. So this thing is selfishness. So, but the issue with our own is that we were deceived. We believe every human being that we are the same. We trust people, even strangers, because we didn't have the mindset of conquest. No. Had it been, the Europeans, they were monarchical right from time. Do you understand? Just like the Fulani. That is why they never welcome any opposing ideology. They fight it. Because it is either it will become their own way or nothing. That is the way they behave. But in our own, we work, live and let live. Do you see? The way we reason, our way of life, we become victim of that our way of life. When we, let me continue. Some of our ancestors, we should say, collaborated in transatlantic slave trading with the almost innocent intention of making some money with the sales of criminals, outlaws, and slaves. Slave, we call it indentured servitude. What mutated into boy today. Do you understand? It is not real slavery. Because in our land we didn't have prisons. We either send people into exile. Do you understand? Even some part of our land, some parts, They don't even practice this indentured, this type of outlawing or slavery. So any person that is suffering from maybe because of death, or they want to enslave him, he will run to that side and be a free person. Slavery, we call it indentured servitude. Let me explain to you. It's just like boy. It is what mutated into boy today. Do you understand? This indentured servitude. I want to explain a bit about it, so that, because we should understand. I am talking about trying to understand the cause, or some of the causes of our predicaments today. Because it has been a question being asked by everybody, including me. Why are we in this situation? But when you start recollecting, when you start researching, when you start thinking, now many things start coming to you, becoming clearer. This indentured servitude is a form of labor in which a person is contracted to work without salary for a specific number of years. Do you understand? The contract called indenture may be entered voluntarily or eventual compensation or debt repayment, or it may be imposed as a judicial punishment. That is what we are practicing. The time the Europeans were savages. You understand? We are practicing this. We never, enslave anybody. Instead, it depends on what you did. The punishment our people will give to you is either exiling you, or we put you into indentured servitude, whereby you do either community work or serve one thing or the other, with a person, or for a person, for a period of time. After you become free, you go move around. So this mentality is what deceived our people. That is what I found out. It's what deceived our ancestors during the first time of taking our people, selling them into slavery. Listen attentively, please. When the Europeans came, colonization started about 19th century, 1845-46. The Berlin Conference, they shared Africa now. After now, they came down in order to enforce the borders. That's when the real fighting started. But before that time, the Europeans, they have been coming to West Africa since the advent of the first Europeans, the Portuguese, from 15th century, 14 something. You understand? They came for business as usual, as they were roaming around the world, because it is the same selfishness that we are pursuing them to go and look for what to eat. That is the reality. But in their own, they organize it. It was organized. They will send out even hardened criminals. They will send out rapists. Many people they send abroad at that time to go into the colonies. Many of them are rapists. That is why when you hear Port Harcourt, you are rapists. I mean, what do you call it? Pedophile. I should say pedophile. They were one criminal or the other. These are the people they send to outside. That is why when they go, they slaughter without pity. Because these were killers in Europe. Do you understand? So now they turn these things, they turn these people, their criminals, to bring gain for them, benefit for them, in exchange for their freedom. Just like China is doing. China, many people you are seeing as Chinese working in Nigeria, doing different works, construction or this and that. Some of them are prisoners in China. That is the reality. These are people that have wisdom, common sense, so that everybody will be profitable. Because when you lock the person there, doing not feeding him, What profit? But you take him outside, let him go and work for the government. Instead of you to pay, now you pay. If the food is eaten and breathing fresh air, he loves it. Instead of sitting in their country in a jail, being locked up. Do you see how these people turn everything into advantage? Do you see it? Okay. Now, these our ancestors, during the time of the first time the Europeans came to our land, they were doing normal business. They come, they bring gunpowder, they come, they bring matches, all those things are the early time. And they take goods also from our land because they are not giving it for free. And let me tell you, record history stated that Benin Empire were exporting or was exporting soap, bathing soap and washing soap to Portugal, to Europe, as of 15th century. But they will not tell it to you. It's not common. They will not tell you this. Which means they started producing many of all these things. You say, they invented or Yibo invented. It is a lie. It's only that they took it they take the technology and developed it. That's the thing. Many of all these things were either invented early time, even in Africa, some in Middle East, in Arab countries, some in Asia. But now the Europeans, they hijack it. And when they are writing history, they will cut off where it came from. That it is them that did it, this and that. Do you understand? I don't blame them. They are wise. So, what happens is this. When the Europeans were engaging in trade, coming, bringing schnapps, bringing things, and taking also goods from West Africa. When the New World, America, needed manpower, vast land to cultivate, they started trying to see people they will use as farm animals. That is when the problem started. The Portuguese now, they asked our ancestors they were dealing with, as a business partner, there is this new project, we need if you can be giving us human being, we buy. After all, you have people that criminals here, you have people that, he said yes. Our ancestors discussed this among them. Let me tell you. They discussed it among them. They said, look, these people, they need human beings, and we have all these people outlawed. Instead of sending people into exile for crimes, they never even understand the severity of the slavery, because that is for them, they tell them, it's slavery. They thought it's that indentured servitude, that type of servitude, it doesn't matter. Listen, at the beginning, I'm telling you. And they said, okay, instead of these people wasting, if they are here, they are wasting, they do nothing, and they are criminals anyway. I beg, it's better we use them, make money, sell them, let them go there and work for free. And that is how this thing started. Everything or some things starts with good intention, with ignorance, without knowing. But after, it will be hijacked. Do you understand? Once corruption enters, it now becomes hijacked with very bad intention. And you can no more stop it. That is what happened to our people. They thought that it is the same Kagawa boy. You understand? So some of our ancestors collaborated in transatlantic slave trading with the almost innocent intention of making money with the sales of criminals, outlaws, and slaves. Slaves in bracket, that is indentured servitude, or people as the system we call boy today. To make money in our land in order to purchase European goods, including weapons. This our tradition of indentured servitude, that is boy today, also shows how a tradition could be changed into good or bad. Are you hearing me? Due to selfishness, it was used to sell our people into horrible slavery to the Europeans. That is the indentured servitude. Listen, something could be turned into good or bad depending on the people, on the human beings. Do you understand what I mean? Now, this system of indenture, I'm calling it indentured servitude, so that you know, because it wasn't, but it is something that mutated today into boy, which is a very huge advantage, benefit to us as a people today. But before, our ancestors thought that maybe, selling these people today, they will go there and experience the same, walking free, without knowing at the beginning, without knowing that these people, they go there, they are brutal. They kill them anyhow. It's later when they found out how things were done, but it was too late. They can no more stop it. Because by now, as they started it, now cleverly, the Europeans, what they did is, when they came back, they brought more sophisticated weapons. Say, look, take these weapons, go and, capture other people. They have superior weapons then. Now they remember that, okay, it started entering into the hands of bad people. People started being more gluttonous. That is akpirio gologo. Because everyone on. So they have tested people that never test European snap, aromatic snap. They test it. Now they need more. The Europeans, what they did, they came back. If you need more, take this weapon. We give you weapon. You go, you capture more. We have it plenty in the container in the ship. We give to you. Once that test now is there. Now it started mutating into another thing. Something maybe they started innocently. Instead of these people, we see, after all, they are criminals. We can sell them and make money and make let them. It's nothing. After all, they go there, even they work more, they eat Oyibo food. Is it not? Do you understand? They eat and they don't know what they are suffering there. The same thing, the same mentality today. People that, when you never travel, you think that, go to Bodo, you both start picking money. After all, you start anything you do, you walk, you don't know what the person is passing. Only the humiliation where it's working. The unspoken discrimination against the person. You don't know. But as far as where you are there, you don't know. Now send me money. Brother, sister, please send money. You don't know the person is suffering and what the humiliation is passing. You don't know sometimes if he enter into the train or to bus. Maybe they will vacate. White people around him will just move out. Some will move out and close their, as if he's a leprous person because he's just a black person. You don't know all the sufferings. All that matters to you is send the money, send money. That is exactly the mentality our people was having that time. Anyway, if we say them, they go there. Is it no? They will enjoy with after all aromatic snap food there. Or this, they will drink plenty there. I beg, make we say them. Innocently, they didn't know that they are going there to die, to walk to death. Before they could realize it, he has entered into another gear. It's finished. Because now, in as much as Mr. A sell, and they have share of aromatic snap, other villagers will like the same thing. Now everybody started scavenging. Our people, we are competitors. We love competition. Other people want to have a taste of that aromatic snap, to ride the white horse, all these things, to have a mirror, So everybody now will be scavenging. We are scavenging in order to have contact of Oyibo, in order to go and capture slaves, Now they start encroaching into other people, innocent people, capture anybody, because they want to now, that test. The Europeans were increasing that gluttony, that selfishness. You go, you bring, now I pay you. Look at. They will open their warehouse. Goods are there, the food there. I don't know whether you have read about the Wobani, Ogogo Riak. That was a slave merchant, a slave trader. He is an Ipob man. His great-great-granddaughter, who is alive today, revealed it. He's a very great man. Even he's the head of the church in that time, Church of CMS, Church of England, in Enugu, in their own community. That time, very powerful, very rich. But he deals on human beings, on slaves. He has people. He has gangs, even with a British military that guide him always. He has slaves to go and capture slaves. This is what the thing mutated into. Something that started innocently. Instead of these people staying, they just sell them to make money. After all, they are criminals. Before you know it, it becomes something that could not be controlled. And that is how our people become the highest victim of transatlantic slavery. Go and make your researches. Igbos is truth. In the whole of transatlantic slavery, we become the highest in number. The victims. Because of competition. Everybody want to aromatic snap on the Now, if you can capture, they will be organizing themselves and going for raids in order to capture and go. That is the thing. Competition is one of the things. Do you understand? Okay. As I said, this indentured servitude, it was used to put many of our people, sell them into slavery. But also that custom, that tradition, that way of life, after everything, it become refined today into something very huge, very big, and very beneficial to us. This shows you, it confirms that we humans have the ability to create and change things to our advantage or disadvantage. That is the reality. Do you understand what I mean? That is the reality. So, another thing, our way of life contributed. Because we never meet a lot of people, different peoples, because of the geographical position where we are. In the equatorial forests, the rainforest, it is hard for strangers to pass. Only when we started having direct contact with foreigners like that is during that colonial time, or not colonial time anyway, the Europeans the first time. Because colonial time started 19th century, please, for you not to misunderstand everything. Slavery started, or businesses with Europe started, or contact with Europeans started 15th century, that is 14 something. It mutated into buying slaves. It continued till the era of colonization, when the Europeans successfully made sure they thwarted us, that they put confusion, like endless wars, because they bring gun and say, go and kill your brother. Now gangs will continue until even they banned the slavery, transatlantic slavery in America. They banned it in Europe. But Africans, we are still, because hey, we are gone. Now they were still doing it secretly, because they have to do it. They need that goods until it is the same European American boats that come to enforce it in Africa. for you to see how bad it is. Sometimes things will be started in a funny way, you think, but where it is heading to, it becomes a highly fearful, monstrous. That is why wisdom is highly important. Wisdom is highly important. Another thing is also ignorance. As I said, due to our position, our situation, where we are, the rainforest we are, we seldom meet foreigners. But let me tell you one thing. The people in the Sahel, you know, Sahel is a desert. Sahel is a grassland, highest. So movement is people move with camel, with horses, with donkeys. Anyhow, from Arabs to other people, people come from time to time. You see different set of people moving. Say, ah. So these people, these Sahelians, they used to meet different types of people, both the good, the bad, the ugly. That is why they became good. They became good, perfect, or almost perfect in politics, in the politics of self-preservation. Something we are ignorant. It is not because of anything other than the place where we are, our geographical position. It makes it difficult for foreigners to come in. So we feel comfortable. We do our own thing. That's our own way of life. You know, because as it is said, a moving, how do you say it? A traveling idiot is more intelligent than a stagnant intellectual. That is it. When you meet different sets of people, different cultures, now you see different things. You see faults in your culture, you take something from them, and you also add to your own. You know, you continue changing, you continue learning. But in our own, we are just like stagnant. Only the same set of people we are moving around with. Only the same set of people. Because I don't email here, everything. You farm and get food, fish and get fish. You know, you go to fishing and you and anything you want, you get it. You understand? Is it meat? Bush meat everywhere. So what is it? Everybody is comfortable in that side without knowing, having the mental understanding of how the world politics go. We don't know it. That is why ignorance abound. We didn't understand the word self-preservation. I'm talking about ignorance now. We thought that we could deal with everyone equally with no preferential treatment because of the way our way of life. We see white man, we say, the human being, I beg. Okay, we trust the person. We saw another person, another type of race. We take, anything they tell us, we believe because we are just innocent, virgin. Let me use that word, virgin. Very easy to deceive. You understand? Now the Europeans use our ignorance against us. We easily trust the foreigners. This ignorance continued through the creation of Nigeria till date. We always believe that irrespective of our place of abode, we could turn it into excellence with the collaboration of our hosts. That is what deceived Azikiwe. Inasmuch as I blame him for his shortcomings, always, which I will continue to do. But he was good intentioned in the Nigerian project. Honestly speaking, Azikiwe, he was good intentioned. He wanted to, if left for him, without obstacle, without any interference, he will make Nigeria a paradise. But you don't make a paradise with mouth or with only your wishful thinking. It's impossible. Do you understand? That is one thing we fail to understand. You understand? In the same way, the 1966 coup plotters, they were good intention. That's it. What you wanted to do, you theoretically you say now once I remove kill Sadwana, I do this. Now I will bring Awolowo, I put it there. Oh, Nigeria will be okay. Everybody will clap for us. Oh, now come and kiss us. And we will continue as one Nigeria. Everything will be okay. That is ignorance. Do you understand? That is pure ignorance. You are being good intention doesn't too much matter. There is a difference between your good intention or your good intention, the thoughts, and your actions towards achieving that good intention. Because these actions could be sabotaged, twisted, or misunderstood. This is where wisdom plays a very important role, which Azikiwe and most other Igbo political elites lack. They lack it. You might have good intention. As Azikiwe, he had good intention for Nigeria. It's a weakness because of ignorance. You understand? You don't ask yourself, what is the practicability? He believed that, okay, I schooled in Harvard. So, even the British, they respect me. Because maybe he went to the British parliament and addressed them. Oh, they clap. He thought that is Otakilu. Otakilu. He thought that the way when you eat a bitter cola, the way it's sounding, that is the way it's sweet. No. There are many things on the ground. That is one thing our people should understand. What happens in the secret is more than what you see physical. Do you understand? That is, this mentality is still haunting us till today. That is why our people want us to come up on radio, the leadership to come and expose everything. Everything they want to do, they expose it. They don't know that the actions that are secret is more important than what you even say, talk on air. It's a very weak point, and that is ignorance. It's part of the things that is troubling us today. I'm telling you honestly. It's part of it. That is why a freedom fighting outfit, our leader have to come out every time in order to announce the bank account, which is absurd in every freedom fighting outfit. Absurd. You see, it's only when Taliban took over power that it was revealed that their supporters in Saudi Arabia are giving them, contributing $100 million per year. Secretly. They didn't go on the air to say, this is our bank account. No. All these are secrets. Normally, a freedom fighting outfit shouldn't be coming out on air even to be pronouncing our bank account. But how can you, if you don't do it, others will bring a float to any other thing and use it to dupe everybody. That is the mentality we are suffering today. I used to tell people the most important job in this restoration effort is what is being done in this region. People might not understand it, but it is true. Trying to restore our brain, that is the most important thing. Because if we don't do this now, and Biafra is restored, believe you me, the scale you never experience. Even some people when but when we restore, we push out all these mistakes and we start taking corrections. In a way we reason. Start reasoning in different ways. I'm telling you, that is number one progress. And the most important. Revolution of the mind, of mental revolution. Our people are still suffering from this primitivity. I'll always call it primitivity. Yes, the Europeans, they did this. Everybody's but people, they try to limit it through enlightenment. Do you understand? As I talk about good intention, Azikiwe have good intention of turning Nigeria into Japan in 5 years, which is good. Innocently, wholeheartedly, he will do it. That is his intention. But the practicality is the problem, because you need to have, you will have different attacks, different sabotage, different manipulations. People that created Nigeria, you never think about, why did these people amalgamate Nigeria? Is it for me to progress? That is where you apply wisdom. But that is lacking. The other day I asked a question about wisdom. Does our people have wisdom? And I categorically said, no, we don't have. Because if we have wisdom, we wouldn't be behaving like this. Look at this IPOB, the restoration of Biafra, what we are doing. Look at the attacks that are coming from our own people. Our leader say he studied our mentality for many years, many decades before engaging in this journey. Do you understand? He knew that things like this will come. He knew that attacks will come from our own people. You know that. That's why he always admonishes, remain strong. Do not fall for propaganda, because all these things will come. People will come, people that have jealousy. Why is it that if Biafra come now, tomorrow they will credit it first of all, like Mazi Johnathan will become like Mandela now? What about me? He knew that we have that Neanderthal type of mentality. He knew it. That is why when they floated the video of DSS made a video of people that saw a child soldier that DSS made, you see people that are uproar is from our own Igbo people, because they want to have a pound of flesh on our Nnamdi Kanu. This primitive mentality. Now, as far as I'm not controlling it, I will spoil everything. It is ignorant, due to ignorance, and this is our problem. Do you understand? This is our problem. Just imagine somebody well-read, a scholar, very intelligent man, Azikiwe. He fucked up the first time during independence, although good intention. During Biafran war, he supported, but because Ojukwu couldn't hand him over everything so that he controlled. Now he's saying, I will destroy you. You will know that I am the son of Obededon Azikiwe. When my father was the PA to look at, you don't know. So I will show you. You don't know that he's vowing to destroy himself. This is ignorance to the highest level. Is it not what is happening today? Is it not? Do you see people that we are even part of this IPOB to an extent? Look at our deputy leader before, the man I respect before. But look at, he is part of now Nakaskata IPOB. And you say, what type of people are these? Why not come out, form your own thing, focus on your own? Like Charles Taylor had a problem with what do you call oh my goodness me, what do you call this other man? Yomi Johnson. They were together fighting to overthrow Samuel Doe. Oh, but inside the bush at time they had quarrel, they had problem. Yomi Johnson said, I'm no more with you. He carried his own boys. They didn't go to start fighting Charles Taylor. He went the same goal. Do you see how things move? It's even Yomi Johnson that captured and killed their target. That spelled the end of the war. Don't you see it? But if it's an Igbo man, he will first of all, he will leave the target and start targeting and start fighting against him. I will show him, I will show him that You see, it's a primitivity. That ignorance, that primitive ignorance is still in us. That is why we preach here, so that we shed it. You understand? Let us reveal all these things. It is still in our life, in our blood. We need to remove it. Otherwise, it's like we are perishing with this ignorance and selfish. I call it not even ordinary selfishness. Primitive selfishness. We never shed it. The ones that are there before, even the Europeans, everybody have it. That primitive one. They remove their own, others remove their own. Our own is still there, killing us. Come on. It is high time we remove it, please. I'm talking about ignorance. As I said, there is a difference between your intentioned thoughts, good intentioned thoughts, and your actions towards achieving the good intention. Because these actions could be sabotaged, twisted, misunderstood. When you think about all these things before you do, like the 1966 coup plotters, yes, their plans were very good, but little did they know that even they were being manipulated. But if there is wisdom, they would have understood that, look, instead of doing it like this, why not we do it like this? Why not we do it like this? You apply wisdom. What about if this thing is like this? That is why I hate thinking that straight. I hate judging things or thinking straightforward. No, you know, as human beings, as normal human beings, we need to look even that place you don't think that you need to look into 360 degrees before you make your decision. That is wisdom. It plays a very important role. But lo and behold, Azikiwe and most other Igbo elites, they lack this wisdom. Being good intentioned is one thing, but having wisdom to implement that is another thing altogether. Because know that whatever you are doing, as far as it is about, you know, gathering of people, it concerns a set of people. There must be, leakages somewhere. There must be attacks somewhere. There must be one thing or the other, blockades one way or the other somewhere. You ask yourself, how am I going to jump over these blockades in case all these things come? That is why before you leap, you look. Not only when you finish, you know, we Igbos, we do something straightforward, thinking that the way my mind is the way that person's mind is. Oh yeah, no. You have to take into consideration many things, and they say we lack it, and it is one of the things that is plaguing us today. And you understand? That is why some politicians, you know, when you look at them, some of them will have good intention. Let me tell you, before entering into one position or the other, some of them might have good intention of, now let me go, at least I will serve these people, I will do like this, I will try to bring this. But when they go there, they see that it is a no-go area. Instead of them to come back and tell the people, because communication matters. Look at what is happening. Look at the blockades I'm having. Instead, they change immediately and start selling everybody because they feel that the other person cannot achieve it. Is it me? Even a whole Azikiwe cannot achieve it. Is it me? I beg you, go collect money now, make you and become, be dining together. It belongs. You understand? We as a people, we have very good natural characteristics of republicanism, equity, and tolerance. But we weren't properly exposed to see how the world politics work. How the world politics works. It matters a lot. It's not that thing in your mind, the way you think it. It doesn't go like that always. That's why I love our leader, because he studied our mentality, our psyche, for many years. You know that many people will, he say, you people will betray me. I will not betray you guys, but you will betray me. It doesn't matter the way you put it, but there is betrayal. You understand? It doesn't matter whether you say, where are the Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? I'm in your back, I'm in your front, I'm in your behind. I know, don't worry. You people will betray me, but I'm not, because I know you people. I know you are psyche. I know how you reason. That type of reasoning is what I want in this platform, what we preach every day, so that people will change their way of reasoning. It is killing us. It is inhibiting our progress as a people. You understand? Let me say it again. We as a people, we have good natural characteristics of republicanism, equity and tolerance, but we weren't properly exposed to see how the world politics works. Had it been we were controlled, or that we controlled our destiny, or we were introduced into a civilized entity and roots, we could be the best with our refined system. Rather, this ignorance is consolidated mostly via an imposed foreign religion and evil amalgamation of the Nigeria Caliphate, which we were duped into believing to be our country without knowing that it is a British business center with ulterior motives. That is a reality. Innocently, we have good characters. Had it been right from the time we had the first meeting with the Europeans, and we learned something from them. They didn't impose all these things. It becomes a symbiotic alliance. Before God and man, we could be the best in the world. We will start removing some things, refining all these characters. Instead, the Europeans, they saw this character in us, that this primitive ignorance, they tried to double it so that we continue being like that, even going backwards. You understand? And at the end, now Britain amalgamated and put us into Nigeria, that you will be better in Nigeria. As a Nigeria, don't worry. Amalgamating us with people we didn't know, with conquerors. Do you understand? And innocently, we believe that through Azikiwe, because when we say we, he was representing everybody at that time. Through him, we believe that, okay, we will do things, don't worry, we will work it. Because we didn't know, he didn't know how what. Not that we cast our passion, but we are talking about its reality. There is a clip I played before I started. It's one Reverend Father. The Reverend Father, sometimes he talks very well. Is it too Loma? I don't know. In Abuja. He said that some people, many pastors and that the Jews, every time he says casting out demon that is troubling your life, this and that. But instead of them to understand or to tell people that, look, the demons you are having is physical, it's not spiritual. The demon of Tinubu, the demon of Kanu, these are demons. The politicians you are seeing, they are the people that are sucking your blood. The money that is meant for hospital, they will pocket it, and they will come and give you 1,000 naira for election, and you will take. These are demons. So, do you understand? If all this, for example, clergy, they are opening the people's eyes, I'm telling you honestly, things will be okay. But do you know what? They use this religion, they impose this religion on us. It's a foreign religion. Now, the worst part of it is that This thing, this religion turned us into rebels fighting against our own traditions and culture. That is, you know, there's no way we can say talk and even didn't come to religion. It's something like this is impossible, because it's playing a very big role in making sure that our eyes are blocked. Do you understand? How can you turn against your culture, your tradition? They tell you that everything is evil. Everything concerning you is evil. Do you know what they did at that early time? Just as our sister, Wada Maryam, when she explained, of which we discussed that day, I think last Saturday, these people at the early time, you know, we have our system of Ingui. You know, if they say, if you are not guilty, okay, come and swear oath in front of this shrine. Once you do it and a specific number of days pass and nothing happens to you, you are vindicated. Now, the clever thing these Europeans did is this: as they came with their missionaries, they were colonizing, and the missionaries were doing their mental work of preaching. No, stop fighting. Don't fight them. They are God sent. You know, these are your... Okay. Whenever there is the bad people, the bad guys, the criminals in our land, now, instead of them to go and sway as the normal, in order to remove evil in our land, they will run away and enter that mission, enter one church mission, and the missionaries will accept them and comfort them, say, these people, now they demonize the people that we are trying to sanitize our land, calling them name that they are idol worshippers, that they are the evil people. Now this one that come, they will tell him kneel down, and they pour water on him, say you are baptized. Now, you will see now, okay, just as you believe in Jesus Christ and you are saved, and he believe it. Now they wear him white cross. He will now be the good person. Now they will turn around and say, who are those people pursuing you? Who are those people telling you to go to the shrine as our custom permits in order to swear? Those people now will become bad people. Do you see how things change? Britain will send, they will go with Kotoma, with their military, in order to arrest those people, that they are the bad people. That these people now they are crazy. But these are people that stole in the village, that should be treated in our natural, in our traditional way. Now, as far as they have changed into, because they are running from the punishment, either exile or being into this indentured servitude. So the highest their solution, you know, their salvation is only entering into the foreign church. Finish. That is how things are. Now, these people now that enter, these criminals now, they started entering church, and before you know, they are the people that are even moving with the Oyibo. They were given ranks in the villages. They become village controllers. Corruption enters. I don't know how you have heard about this Chibuanozo. I could remember it. If you are old enough, you can remember it. Chibuanozo, we are Kotoma every time. Lomaju Goji, yes, is a Kotoma he used to translate. Do you see? You know, whenever the Oyibo will say something, he will translate it in another way, so that because he is the person even pronouncing the judgment. Because he is the translator. Sometimes he can say, bring a box of akbo and gari or yam in my house. His house, he is the person But maybe this person was a criminal before in his own land. Before they transfer him, he's now moving with Oyibo. And they become a catechist. And that is how evil started spreading. At a time, our custodians of the culture, of the law in our land, they became frustrated and fed up. Some of them become even killed. Some even die of a heart attack, that they never understand how in their lifetime something like this will be happening. That Ojugo that is a criminal, that now he is the person that now he become angel. Do you see the frustration in the lives of our people that time? They became frustrated because they can't do nothing. If they go only complain, Britain will protect them. The missionaries will protect the bad people in our land. And they started growing. Chino Achebe said things fell apart. And the center can no more hold. People even started entering the church in frustration. And they had nothing to do. Because our way of life, our tradition, no more is scattered. So no more, no road again, and nowhere. Evil started multiplying in our land. Do you understand? These are the problems we have. We cannot say anything without mentioning this religion. It brought catastrophe. I'm telling you honestly, in our land. You know all these things. Why it is also primary. Imagine, as we are preaching here, for example, Mazi Johnathan preach. He explain to you about common sense, how some reasonable, something about reason, which we preach here on Radio Biafra. Now tomorrow you go to your Dadijio. Your Dadijio will tell you, maybe there are some arguments you will try to make. He will tell you, do you listen to Radio Biafra? You say yes. He said, you are listening to Antichrist. You are listening. You either repent or renounce that. And immediately, because he works in your mind, he works in your spirit, he works with your head. They are trained to work with manipulate you psychologically. Once you say that, if you don't do that, now you become afraid. You say, okay, you will know more. Tomorrow they tell you, come now, are you listening to Radio Biafra? You remove the app from your telephone. Do you see why we always go that place? Because that is the nucleus. One of the problems, the main cause of the problems is this. They use all these things to tie the head, tie the brains of people. Do you understand? How can you say, for example, also, how can you are talking about government changing, the bad government, the cause is bad government, this and that, what we are suffering, for example, in Nigeria, what we are suffering in Nigeria is bad government. We need to come out to protest, this and that. And you see, you have church members there, you say, oh boy, no, God knows everything. This is spiritual issue. God will solve it as far as we continue praying. Our Daddy Gio said it. Do not believe only on the strength of man. They will quote for you. Do not believe on the strength of man. Just believe in divine. Pray and God will sustain you. Your miracle will come. Moreover, Bible says respect the rulers. They will give you all these quotations. Now, tell me, how are you going to deal with this issue? If not what we are saying, what we are doing. If not trying to let people understand that there is a problem, initial, how do I call, primary problem, elementary problem is there. They will use that religion to tie your head. Tie it. Anything if somebody want to confuse you, or convince you, rightly convince you to do the right thing. After you say, it's like you were sleeping and you wake up, you say, what am I trying to do? Jesus, I bind you, demon. What kind of thing is this? This person, and you start avoiding the person that is trying to convince you into common sense. Do you see why we always touch this side? Because it's highly delicate. Do you understand me? Because it is something that we must face. It is killing us. It's part of the thing that is killing us. It makes us zombies. It increases our ignorance, thinking that our help will come from heaven. Don't worry. Our help, we are going. But we are the people that should work for it. That is the initiative we preach. Do you understand? When you finish preaching, working the whole week, on Sunday the person will go to church and they will preach to him another thing that is contrary to common sense. How do you deal with it? Do you see the problem we are facing? Or do you see it? They will tell you that prayer, only pray, and God will answer. One day God will just bring somebody that will change Nigeria. And that's it. And giving them false hope. You know, what they always is a false hope they are giving them. It's only few churches that are today like this man I played in his clip, that is taking the bull by the horn, exposing to the people. If a reverend father can tell you that the problem you are having, we don't stop casting demons that they are blocking your way. No, nobody is blocking. No demon is blocking your way. It is all these politicians. They are the demons that you are seeing. If you have anything you can do, organize yourselves in order to make sure that you bring down all these demons. Stop talking about demons from your father, or from the shrine. You start going to cut a tree, an innocent tree that should be refining the air, bringing oxygen into this planet Earth. You cut it down, that you are killing demon. That is the height of ignorance and stupidity. Do you understand? Remember, it took the Israelites more than 2,000 years of conquest, subjugation, enslavement, and massacres to really understand the politics and reality of the world. It took them more than 2,000 years. Because before they thought that, as you are in Europe, anywhere you are, Eboye become now watching. And you see them in Europe, in Spain, in Italy, in Venice, in Portugal, Greece, building anyhow, now this na go for they built, they were progressing, thinking that the world is like that. But from time to time they will pinch them. Remember, you are Jews, and they will destroy their properties, kill them, slaughter them. Do you know the main savior of these Jews? Do you know what saved them? What kept them? People that suffer for more than 2,000 years. Do you know what saved them? It is their religion, their ideology, that kept them compound, kept them together. That religion, they protected it jealously for thousands of years. It doesn't matter whether they are in the midst of Taliban. They have their synagogue. Come there and massacre them. That is not their problem. They if you remain one person, they continue. I read the other day, there is the only remaining Jewish Afghan Jew is there in Afghanistan, in their oldest synagogue in Afghanistan, still there. I think, he has died. I think he died either last year or last few years, something like that. He refused to go. He said, this is their heritage. He cannot leave. He must continue maintaining that synagogue. Even if anytime the Taliban let them come and kill him, that is not his problem. That is their ideology. He kept them together going for 2,000 years. But we didn't have. They came and put knife in the umbilical cord, the culture, the tradition that held us together, that's supposed to be our ideology, and everything fell apart. They sold to us false narrative in the name of one Nigeria, and we took it up because of the way of our lives, the way we live, the way we behave. We trusted and started going, one Nigeria, one Nigeria. We thought that everybody is like us, but lo and behold, we are duped. We didn't know that this thing was created by Britain for a purpose, for their own personal benefit. We thought that everything is okay in Kanu, in the streets of Kanu. Many places our people are developing it, building mansions, In the name of one Nigeria. Oh, no, no. But from time to time, they will round people up, start slaughtering. They will destroy your hard-earned money for nothing, for who you are. It happened to the Jews until they became political in nature. As this clip I used to play. Say, they were slaughtered. They didn't believe that. They believe open-hearted. Now become watching. Oh, one Nigeria. All of us, we are Nigerian now. Okay. And they continue misbehaving, but from time to time become massacred until a time the Jews, they say now the height was the slaughtering of 1939 to 1945, the Second World War. They say they can no more take it. It's not what we are thinking, that this world have another backside. That is when their eyes open and they started fighting suicidally in order to get their own land, and they got it. Do you want to be continue? They massacred us more than 5-6 million during the war, and they continue killing us till today. Today, no more news about it. If in the streets of North, if they corner Igbo person, any Biafran, they corner you, pam, they take you. That is the way they behave now. No more open. If they corner you, you lost. They will kidnap you and slaughter you and bury you. And the family, they will look. Who are they going to go? They will go meet this Sariki. Sariki will tell, hey, good. Hey, don't worry. We are going to take, take it easy. They will give them maybe fura de nune, a drink. And if you come out, they will laugh. Until when are we going to remove this ignorance? This is where I'm going to stop. I'm going to open my line. But remember, I talked about trying to understand the cause of our predicaments. Why we are where we are today. And why are we behaving the way we are behaving today. I hope I taught you very little of all this. Our way of life, which we should refine. Ignorance about politics is too heavy. We need to remove ourselves from this and buy wisdom. This is where I'm going to stop. I will go on few minutes break, and when I come back, I will open my lines so that people will speak their mind. I will be right back. PM gwam not again on phone concerning issue brief on everything. Animal all of that. I'm sorry for that. Concerning issue in Lagos, a place called Abulado. Anakubosi Nnamdi Bodia. Akutusi ha. I make a few calls. Can marry I will go no dona FH. Never no dona kwasi ha elo no dia. Beno ndi bojeje ko kwasi na na agwa na ego na kwuo na nwere ya eme. So the only thing about got me here na agbono ka boba asoro ko mebe contact ka we nwe ike stop ha. The neighbor say one of these things she go many times warning concerning all this issue. Ko chandi Igbo bai na egwu na agba nketa. Problem ndị Igbo nwe bụ na ha were ego meruchi ihe niile bụ ego. I had her political in life. Agbụrụ ọbụla adịghị political in life enweghị ebe ha ji azụ eje. Ha ya bụ confused people until ha do political in life. Average onye Igbo ọbụla believe na ego bụ everything, ego abụghị everything. So tribe anyị na-eme ya.
Ihe akpọ onye Igbo asị nwanne gị nọ n'isi si ya na ihe dị otu a stop one ya ikwucha ya ọ kweghị ọ pụọ n'azụ ọ sị na ị na-aghọrị ya aghọrị na ị chọghị ka o mee investment n'ebe ya bụ tomorrow to make a sort big money. They went and be doing the things they want. Then when the problem comes, ha kpọkasịba na phone ka na-egbu ha na-enyere ha aka. Achị kurie ụlọ niile dị ebe a si kurie ya because ndụ stupid, very very stupid. Jideofor eze nwa ọ gwasịghị ọnụ na ihe m gwago unu maka concerning some of set up all these tribe na set unu bụ unu amaghọ. Let me tell you, all this Lagos unu na-ego ana na-invest ndị Igbo na-alụpịa ebe ahụ ị na-ego ana sometimes jee na map allocation jụọ onwe gị kedu ebe ahụ eri ahụ ị na-ego ana kedu ihe edebe ya for. A place called Amodofe ndị Igbo gorigo is an industrial area. Aya anụ ụlọ niile ahụ unu nwere na-amụ.
Welcome back. This is Radio Biafra Hausa-Sevice coming to you through Radio Biafra London. My name remains Mazi Johnathan from Alo province of Biafra land. Before I open my lines, I want you to remind you that I will be hosting Mazi Chinasanworu and Mazi Abanyim on Thursday, being the 17th of March 2022, in a question and answer session, interactive session. So you bring your questions as usual, please. On Thursday, being the 17th, that is in the next 3 days, by 7:30 p.m. BT, that is Biafra time, please. Our lines are now open. Our direct line is +1 213 328 6224. I repeat, +1 213 328 6224. Our WhatsApp and Signal line is +61 405 142 547. I repeat, +61 405 142 547. I have a first caller on Signal. Caller on Signal, welcome to the program. Can you hear me? Almost here, Biafra.
Mazi Johnathan, good evening.
There were.
And Biafrans worldwide, good evening. And God bless you all. My name is Mazi from France. This evening, I want to contribute to the important. Now you just do many things. First, only few things I will touch, then I will submit. You know, when we are talking about the primitive of working with the enemy, or when we use our hands.
Why is your this not clear? I don't know. I don't know if you are beside any electronic gadgets sophisticated like that, please. I don't know.
No, I am not.
Okay. Or you are not using earpiece, please?
No, I'm not using earpiece.
Okay. I don't know why. Go on, please.
And what I'm trying to say is, you know, in what the enemy have caused us, you know, our forefather caused it by themselves, thinking that what they are trying to do is good, in able to plan when they did not know they are causing havoc with themselves and the generation to come. Look at, I think last 2 weeks when we see in Anambra, when somebody were thinking about the title, and along the line, and one of the title and they send somebody early grave by saying that he was alive when he took his own title. And that thing is another thing which our leader was preaching to not to cause havoc to the land of our soil. And at the same time,
let me come in. What that thing I will later find out that what they didn't really in our law in Anambra. I followed it. I will find out that the person, they buried an empty coffin. It's signifying that they have buried him. They don't know about it. So it's not him inside the coffin. They didn't bury any person alive. It's just significance because they warned him, if you don't renounce this your chieftaincy for, I don't know whether 6 months, this and this, and they refused. After they did a mock burial, how can I call it, of empty coffin. That is what they videoed, please. Not that they bury the person alive, I beg. Even at the first time, it's what I thought. So until I started investigating, I saw that, look, this is what happened. Go on, please.
Thank you for clarification. And another thing I want to talk, when our leader bound all these Ume and all these Opunta and all these people, they have said that it's outcasts in our land. And some of our people in Igbo land, let me use Igbo as a kind of to use it as identity to all the whole Biafrans. There are some part of Biafrans still operating in all those ways which the enemy, which the mercenary come. For example, Ejima. In olden days, they say that when you have a twins, it's against the tradition of some of the tradition of the land. For example,
we didn't have any proof of that. It's what they told. It's what they wrote. The same way they wrote that Mongo Park discovered the River Niger. So I don't believe. I have tried to make right from time since all I see that all those things are rubbish. Mary Celeste came and stopped the killing of this is British what they wrote as history. The same way they say Landa brothers discovered the mouth. Mongo Park discovered the source of River Niger. That is rubbish. Please let us not quote all those their primary history they use in deceiving everybody. Go on, please.
Where I'm bringing all these twins issues. Our brother Kanu is a twins too. Because of the issue of this thing, they deny him his right. When he become he have the authority, that's why he removed the other people from entering into. They're supposed to be in other state because of what they did to him. He put them to Ebony State. That's the historical something. And also, I want to say something.
Kill him? Did they kill his twins?
They did not kill him, but they banish him. They say he's as an omen.
But we read that they used to kill twins. That is lie. Go on, Mazi.
Then the final thing I want to say, I want to touch. When we say that we are working against our destiny, in Europe here they have been modernized all this kind of working without pay. For example, if you are in here in France, when you finish the information, they'll ask you to come and do stage. Stage is you are going to work some few months or few weeks without payment to know if you are qualified to handle such information that you have made. And also, it's part of this thing in another modernization way. And when we come here and you don't know the pattern of the land, it would like to allow you to fast process of their tradition or their system, in able to adopt, or they call it integrate, in able to move according to the system of the land. And if you check it in our own way, you will see our own, they will put it in with envy and also ego that cause everything concerning the entering into this slave stuff, and also betraying each other, that we lost trust today. it because of all those egoism and also and not having trust to each other. And I think this is for us to wake up as a family, and we started putting things in order, one after the other, until we know it's not easy to cure mental slavery. It's not easy, but
cycle upon each other. Who is the winner today? The Hausas, that the owners of the land, a whole big large Hausa race that was part of Songhai Empire. A Hausa race that were civilized at that time. One of the highest civilized countries of the world on notice of this wicked plot against.
Always testify to your goodness. That is the same God that we need.
Asia and Australia to protect Biafrans in their respective countries. They should protect Biafrans against their oppressors. The world should not keep quiet over the atrocities against Biafrans. We are peaceful and only ask for a referendum to determine our fate. The world must not mortgage its conscience in the face of the sustained atrocities, human rights abuses, and crimes against humanity being committed by the Nigerian state against Biafrans. Comrade Emma Powerful, Media and Publicity Secretary for the indigenous people of Biafra. Okay, this is the press release. Yeah. As I said, today we are going to talk or discuss, have a discussion, general discussion about religion and humanity. Before I continue, let me reiterate on my usual comment. Please stop calling these people the House of Fulani. There is nothing like House of Fulani as a people, or as one entity, or as one tribe. No. This is a great deception meant at branding the Hausa and the Fulani together, so that the Fulani will continue using the Hausas to their advantage while turning them into slaves. You know what they want to achieve in Nigeria? They want to achieve, the caliphate, the Fulani caliphate. They want to forcefully corrupt every indigenous tribe in that zoo called Nigeria, so that tomorrow you will have Yoruba Fulani, Igbo Fulani, Bachama Fulani, Kanuri Fulani, and at long last they become the majority. So we understand this their long time agenda. That is why we also expose all this their agenda to the public. Stop calling them House of Fulani, please. Do you remember one time when they spoke, the Mietiala? They spoke to the Yorubas. They say, in their phrase, I'm paraphrasing, they said, you remember Fulani and Yoruba are, their relationship is master and slave relationship. Have you forgotten? They are the masters, the Yorubas are it's on the public domain, are the slaves. That is the way they take everybody. What gave them the audacity in order to continue doing what they are doing in Nigeria, the caliphate, is this? They thought that during the time of Ottoman Danfodio, he used religion, which we are going to discuss about today. Because religion is also a weapon. They weaponize religion. Ottoman Danfodio single-handedly weaponized Islam and manipulated the mentalities of the Hausas, and they turned against each other. Who is the winner today? The Hausas, that the owners of the land, a whole big large Hausa race that was part of Songhai Empire. Hausa race that were civilized at that time. One of the highest civilized places in Africa in that medieval period. Because as of that time, the Hausas, they were exporting textiles, even to the Arab world, coloring them. They were manufacturing gunpowder, blunderbusses, that is all these muskets, them guns, as of that time. That time, when you are hearing it, you think it's nothing. That time is just like people, if you are able to manufacture missiles today. They were advanced even in technology, Hausa. But only one single Fulani, single-handedly, manipulated them through religion. He didn't bring religion to them. He didn't bring Islam to them. The Ottoman Danfodio didn't bring Islam to Hausa land. After all, he was born in Hausa land. His parents were tenants in Hausa land, and that is where Ottoman Danfodio was born. And he tactically used religion to manipulate the Hausas. Many Hausas have been Muslims that time. Because they were converted through trading, mixing with the other African Muslims and Arabs. But Ottoman Danfodio came and deceived them, telling them that, your leaders are not practicing the right Islam. So they turned against each other, killing them. He brought hatred. He severed the umbilical cord that joined the Hausas together. And the things fell apart in Hausa land. Today, who is paying the price? The Hausas, they are practically nowhere to be found today. That is why the Fulani, in order to maintain that hegemony, they call themselves, we Hausa Fulani, in order to give the Hausas the fake sense of belonging, whereas they are being turned into Almajiris today. Do you understand? That is why we shouldn't continue to encourage this mischief, this deception. Stop calling them the Hausa Fulani. There is nothing like Hausa Fulani as a people. What we have are the Hausa and the Fulani as different tribes, different nations, different ethnicities. The history of the presence of the Fulani in Hausa land only came during the early 19th century, 1804. Only. Otherwise, nobody knows about them. Do you understand? Do you see the power of religion? That is why today we are going to talk about religion and humanity. They have weaponized religion in order to use it, and it is working. Therefore, please stop calling them the Hausa or Hausa Fulani, please. Before we go on, there is something I want to read. One headline, please, before we go to the topic of our submission today. This it made me Friday, March 4th, 2022. He said, why we are interested in 2023 polls, EU Observer Group. Let me read it a bit so that I want you just with a few minutes, let's just talk about it. Because I used to say this. Let me read it a bit. The international community wants Nigeria to conduct free, fair, and credible elections in 2023. The European Union, EU, Electoral Observation Mission has said, my goodness me. Let me read a bit. Chief of the group, Maria Arena in Abuja yesterday, when she led a delegation to visit Senator Eyochia Ayu, national chairman of the PDP, noted that following the conduct of the 2019 elections, the group submitted a report of its findings to relevant stakeholders with 30 recommendations on how to improve electoral process in subsequent elections. Listen, I don't want to continue too much on all this. They made a 30 a 30 points recommendation, the European Union. You understand? Now, do you see how cleverly the Europeans, they have, subjugated or condemned the sentenced Africans, Nigeria in particular, into their version of cycle, electioneering cycle they call democracy. They never cared about people that are being slaughtered, insecurity everywhere. When you watch the social media, you see insecurity everywhere in Nigeria. You see things are not working, no electricity. That is not their problem. What they want, they push electioneering as only the democracy. And people continue cycle upon cycle upon cycle. As I used to say, any new government that comes in place in Nigeria, they will use 2 years in order to blame the past regime about the present woes. And the remaining 2 years, they use it now to campaign. There is nothing, no talk of advancement or development. No electricity. Everybody go. It's a cycle of deception. Do you understand? Ask yourself, why is it that the United Arab Emirates is progressing? They have their peculiar system of governance. When you accept, you allow foreigners to impose their way on you completely, you always become a perpetual kindergartner. Now they have 2019, the last election, what they call election. Now they have come up after 4 years. They made a 30 report with the 30 recommendations. That is what matters to them. So that after they bring out anything, anybody, one of the agents, and they will say, no, the election is free and fair, but continue in lives that are being lost. That is not their problems. Behold, let me tell you, foreigners, nobody loves you more than yourself. Why? I don't know whether you have anything to say on this, so that before we continue to the main topic of the discussion today. Wanda, please.
Yes, I very much do. Hello, everybody. Welcome again. My name is Marian Hayden. Mazi, as always, on point. Now, even though you have said this, what I'm about to say in some of your broadcasts, when the colonizers left, what do I mean? When they said they have stopped slavery, which was physical slavery, the next thing they did was mental slavery through religiosity. What am I trying to say? The argument you're making now, when you think about the Arab world, you think about the like Israel. What do they call them again? They don't call them Arab. They call them help me out there. Not Eastern Bloc, the Middle East. If you pay attention to the countries that are doing well, there is one or two things unique about them. They maintain their culture. They maintain their own religion. Again, I don't have anything against any particular religion. But look at Africa, West Africa, Nigeria in particular. Every thriving religion in our country are foreign religion. Call it Muslim. Muslim is not native to Africa. It's an Arabic. It's an Arab religion. Every other religion you talk about that is thriving today. So what am I saying? When a people or group of people are not in control of their values, which is who they are, or created their own values and norms, somebody else is running your show. Tell me the last time you had these so-called Europeans or Western civilization going to Israel and telling them, we're going to monitor your election. Tell me the last time they went to a place like Iran, even Russia, to tell them they're going to be the one to monitor the election or determine what is happening in their country. Does it mean that these countries don't have corruption? They have corruption too. But he who owns power, he who wields power, controls. everything. Even your own economy, they control it. So when they're talking about election, they're still trying to control who they put in the power affairs, aim of affairs, so that they continue to subjugate us. But in this time now, they are using us to perpetuate the hold they have on us. So that's what is happening until we come together as a people and begin to look beyond religion. See each and every one of us as human beings first.
Don't go there because you know I got to pay. No need.
So let me just stop there. So that is the bone of contention. Yes, even though we are physically out of slavery, mentally we are still under slavery, and they're perpetuating it every step of the way.
Of course.
I'll rest here for now.
Of course. You know, there is something one has said. Just check in the Arab wars that are doing well. Have you ever heard that, oh, they are doing one political issue, holding political program in Dubai, and EU sent a delegation to go and monitor? Have you heard it?
Never.
Wait, they modified their own system of governance, their indigenous system. So they don't need any expert, outside expert, to come and tell them how to conduct things, because they are human beings. But when you come to Africa, when you come to Nigeria, you see, you know, foreigners. Oh, now they have come. EU. Oh, we made them. Vultures are gathering because of 2023. Do you see them? What have they been saying about the killings that are taking place from east, west, north, south, everywhere in Nigeria? Nothing, because you don't. For them, you are nothing. You don't exist unless you make yourself. You know, you make yourself to exist. You force yourself to exist in this world. What matters to them is who they will impose on you in the name of their democracy. And after, you see monkeys and baboons and orangutan will be go and vote. Yeah. What is voting? Is that shenanigan? Do you understand? So we must continue. As I said, the topic of our submission today, or our discussion today, because it's going to be a kind of interactive session, and after we open our lines also, religion and humanity. Religion and humanity. You know, I've treated this about religion here several times, but we will never cease to talk about it, because it's also part and parcel of our worries. Do you understand? Our problems. Do you understand me? Okay. You know, as we know, religion is a particular system of faith and worship. It's note that phrase, particular system. That is what you need to take out from there. A particular system of faith. You can come out now as a human being, who you are, start your own religion, your own particular system of your faith, and you publicize it. You sell it to the world anyhow. Before you know, you start getting adherents. People will start believing and showing that this is the way. That it becomes a religion of its own. It is simply a human activity. That is the truth about it. It is a human activity. So it's not something that fell from heaven. Do you understand me? Let me also reiterate. When you talk about, you know, we talk about religion. Religion is an English word. And according to history, This modern word, religion, comes from a Latin word they call religio. People that speaks Italian might correct me in my pronunciation. Religio. In the ancient and medieval world, this word, this Latin word, the root, religio, was understood as an individual virtue of worship. Individual virtue of worship, never a doctrine or practice or actual source of knowledge. No. The modern concept of religion is an abstraction which entails distinct sets of beliefs or doctrines in a recent invention in the English language, since such usage began with texts from the 17th century. Due to the splitting of Christendom during the Protestant Reformation and the more prevalent colonial or globalization in the age of exploration, which involved contact with numerous foreign and indigenous cultures with non-European languages. I hope you people are listening to me. It was in the 17th century that the concept of religion, that is the word religion, received its modern shape, despite the fact that the Bible, the Quran, and other ancient sacred texts did not have a concept of religion in the original languages, and neither did the people or the cultures in which these sacred texts were written. Listen, for example, they give example, they say, the Greek word treskeia, which was used by Greek writers such as Herodotus and Josephus, and is found in texts like the New Testament, is sometimes translated as religion today. However, the term was understood as worship well into the medieval period, which means this word religion, it was recent. The way it was contextualized, changed, is recent, right from 17th century or early 18th century. You know what this text is talking about is, before this word, it doesn't really necessarily mean what we term it to be today. It only means worship, and everybody, every culture worships in their own way. That is the only thing. Let me give you an example. You know, like in the olden days, our ancestors saw our ways of worship, which we call religion today, as part of our culture and tradition. And there were mutual respects of different people's traditions and culture. I don't know whether people understand what I mean. In the olden days, before the advent of the Europeans in our land, our ancestors saw, they never see this religion. You know, religion is what we have, is our culture. That is why in Igbo language, in our own word, we call it omenala, culture and tradition and ordinala. Now this word religion, you can see that it never have a single worded Igbo translation. What we call it is okpukperechi, which means it's a description. But when you have omenala, ordinala, is our word that has been there, which means our ancestors never even see religion as something you can change from one set of people to another, or impose on others. They saw it as absurd, because religion should be part of people's culture. It's their culture, their way of life. That is why when the Europeans came, they started talking about one thing, religion, one person. They said, but they saw it as absurd. It happened to the Japanese also. That is why the Japanese resisted, because they didn't have any this word religion. They didn't have it that time. The Japanese, they saw, the way you grow up is part of you, it's your culture, and they know that every morning an elder, the father, will go out on the doorstep and will give, do, what do you call it? Is it ablution or prayer in our own way? It's part of us, so it's not something you impose on others, neither others to impose on you their own system, their own ways. No. But all of a sudden, other people from strange land, they came and started telling our ancestors this and that, that what you are doing is evil. The shock and the surprise, they couldn't get out. They say, what is happening? After all, these people should respect us. It's our way of life. Now, our way of life is our religion. I don't know whether people understand what I'm saying.
Mazi, if you don't mind,
please go.
Can I help out a little bit here? You know what you first referenced. Let me go to Wikipedia and bring more highlight to it. It says, religion of humanity is a secular religion created by Auguste Comte between 1798 to 1857. That's what you were referencing. Because before that time, like you're trying to explain, people worship God. It was an individual thing or a family thing. It was not organized. So it was from this period they began to have what you call organized religion. But let me interject quickly, then I yield back to you. Every day, rightfully, our people who believe in what we are doing, which is the restoration of Biafra, are saying, University of Radio Biafra is our religion, and that is where we worship. Do they really understand what they're saying? They are right. But what they have to know is that history is being made. A new dawn of religion is unfolding before our own eyes. This is how all these things started.
Of course.
Because when you say religion, that's where you hear. Religion is what gives you hope. It's a gateway to take you to your promised land. That is where you hear the message of hope. That is where you hear things that makes you to know that there is God. But now we are not doing it individually, which is what the white man and the government of Nigeria came and did after the war. They scattered us. We became individual set of people. We are no more thinking collectively, and that was how they overcame us. But thank God today, Mazi Nnamdi, in infinite wisdom, he has come now to organize us. So when people say he's the Moses of today, I hear them. Just like Moses organized the Israelites, that was when that religion started taking shape. That's what Nnamdi is doing. That's what you people are doing. So when we say University of Radio Biafra is our religion, that's where we worship. Do they really understand what they're saying? I just want to interject that as you move on.
Of course.
God bless.
Like what I was trying to explain. Because here, people should understand what we are trying to say or what we are doing. We are not casting any aspersion on any religion.
No.
We are not condemning. But what we are doing is to revive, to make sure that we understand what all this thing means. Now, for you to make the good judgment. That is the only thing. Just as our mother said. Let me continue. Like I say in the Quran, the Arabic word din is an Arabic word. It's often translated as religion in modern translation. But up to mid 16th, that is 17th century, mid 17th century, that is 1600s, translators expressed din as law. You see, before, but today in Quran they translate it as a religion, because this thing, it didn't have time. It wasn't like this before. Even the 1st century AD, Josephus and had used the Greek term Iodesmus, which some translate as Judaism today, even though he uses it as an ethnic term. Now, the issue is this. Do you see the name of a religion? They call it Judaism. It's just like when you say Igboism, it becomes a religion. For example, Jews it's just a people. But all of a sudden, modern translation and now turn it into a religion, and that's it. You understand? And we are trying to, the worst part of it is we lost our culture, omenala, our own way of life, because our religion is our way, it should be our way of life. Everybody, listen, in this world, even in antiquity, during medieval periods, people communicate with spirits, with God. It doesn't matter how. That is their culture. So the religions we are seeing today, it wasn't like this before. Even when we say before, you think it's thousands of years back. No. Just hundreds of years back, many things changed. Do you understand? Just as look at this Judaism. It came from Jews. How do you call Jews now Judaism? Like our Menala. We can call it Igboism. It becomes a religion. Or you can call it concordance or kerekes. It becomes a religion. Your ability to sell it, if you are ferocious, you can make wars and conquer and impose that system on them. It becomes their religion by force. Those people, once they phase out and that activity continues, it will become their way of life. The generations coming, we only know, because many of us at this age, many of us, we didn't know any other thing except the religion we are born into. Do you understand? Well, I don't know whether you want to say anything there, because many people.
Yeah, what you're saying is so right. Because again, argument, like I said, when I make most of the argument I do when it comes to religiosity, spiritualism, I always reference the book of the Christian Bible, Holy Bible, because I studied that. All these arguments you and I are trying to bring up are embedded there. So it brings one to the argument: do they really study? Let me give you an example of the verses or chapters that the book of Job. Now, that book of Job was not written when people think it was written. It was written many years, thousands of years ago. Look at it, what kind of worship Job was having. It was the same thing you're sharing now. The Bible said, Job chapter 1, every day he comes out as a family head and he will offer sacrifices on behalf of his family members unto God. That was what he was doing. That was a ritual according to the culture when he lived.
Of that time.
Was he termed
and it was never condemned as evil.
He was never. That was the way I believe. If you trace the story of Job, you might be talking about the time my ancestors lived. That was how it was a family thing. The head of the family was the one that was attending, making sure that you present sacrifices. Now, look at the interesting thing. The people of the Torah, they reverence him as a good man. The people of the New Testament, they reverence as a good man. Yet, his way of worship, some of them can stand up and condemn it. But God did not condemn it. So like you said, religion has evolved over time, continued to evolve. And it was a weapon of conquest. And anybody that conquers, the conqueror has the right to write the history according to their own perspective. And they will impose their ways on you. If our ancestors, they did not have the religion of peace and they were aggressive, they would have fought off and probably defeated these people, and they would have imposed our religion on them. And that's all we would have known. Does it make every other religion lesser? No. That's what we are saying. No particular religion is better or higher than the other. The point is this: that's your culture. Just like the white people came in and told us everything our ancestors did, we are wrong. Even our way of healing, we are wrong. and rebut it because they were defeated individuals. Today, white men are going back to Africa to learn the same thing they rejected. So what you're doing is an eye-opener. As we continue to go, we have to understand that this topic you call religion and humanity, we must explore the connection. And if you allow me, can I speak briefly, then I hand you over to you.
Go on.
Okay, according to what Wikipedia said, one of the main reasons we have religion is for self-development and betterment, which you spoke on. He says, since man is thrown into existence with other social beings, his religiosity directly and indirectly affects other social beings. He is therefore not alone in his religious activities. Thus, there is a relationship between religion, ethics, and humanity. Religion is the quickest and easiest thing to organize a society. So that's one of the reasons religion affects humanity. So we must understand that, and that religion helps in creating an ethical framework and also a regulator of values in day-to-day life. That is why it was the best equipment or weapon the white man or the colonial masters used in keeping us down. Because if you go to the Bible and study it, they will use one section of the Bible to hold you and I down. But on the other hand, they will use the same script Bible in some other section where it benefits them to continue to hold us down. One of them is like, servant, obey your master. What kind of God will make another fellow human being a slave? I'm going to yield from now.
Okay, Wanda. When we talk about this religion, many people or some people might be misunderstanding. What we are trying to do is to expose all these things to our people so that you make the decision.
Yes.
Because you cannot, there is no rationale behind a foreigner coming to my land. Using me to kill my brother or to sell my brother to him as a slave. They killed us. Now they impose their own life, their way of life in the form of religion. Not only that, now they convince me to turn against my own culture, but my culture is barbaric. Is there any sense in it? I don't, sometimes if I reflect about it, I cannot understand. I say there is no sense in it. Because convincing me to turn against my own way of life, demonize it. Whereas those people, they are the people that are killing us. Because you know what? No foreign religion has been imposed on people just out of a bed of roses. It's out of by force. Whether Islam, whether do you think that if it's really something good like that way they think it, that they will come and give it to other people that they bought as ordinary objects? Is it reasonable to believe?
No. How can you believe it? We that live in diaspora knows better. When was the last time the Western civilization takes themselves to Africa and show you the secret how to make aeroplane, share with you the secret how to build nuclear bomb, share the secret on how to make weapon of mass destruction, even share the secret of how to make money? No. But what they will show us when they claim they love you is that particular or those things that can continue to keep us in perpetual bondage, because the whole idea is to continue to enslave us and to continue to exploit whatever we have. But it's happening before our own eyes. Let's not, we keep going back like hundreds, 2,000 years ago. It looks like somebody is making stories up. What is it that we are fighting now in Nigeria and Biafra? The main core of agitation is that a set of people with their own belief and religion are trying to what we call Islamization. Isn't that what we are trying to resist? Is one of the things. Because if we do not put up this fight in the next 100 years, it may even be less than that, there will be nothing like Christianity or any other religion in that country called Nigeria. But look at the time Uthman Danfodio made that prediction. Look at how far back He started this campaign. But what is it that is making them, have emboldened them? Consistency. But we continue to play, thinking it's a joke. That's the fight we are in now. The Islamization, the Franization. This is a cultural thing. Because when you talk about religion, Islamic religion is a foreign to our people. They are native to Arab countries. That is why the Arabs are supporting them.
Because they the same way, if I may interject, is foreign to our people. Do you know that it is the same way that this imported Christian religion from Europe was foreign to our ancestors? That was exactly the same thing, but they were coerced into it through one way or the other. There is another thing. You know, when you talk, some people might say, if not for this Christianity, how would we have learned or been educated? I say no. These people are mistaken. Do you know what
is education?
Yes.
But one has to define education first. But go ahead.
Okay. You know what the Europeans cleverly did? What I understand, you know, at that old time, because had it been they didn't come, or they came to do business only, exclusively business with us, let me tell you, we would have developed even in our own system. But what they cleverly did is this: in their own Western education, they attached names in religion. They joined it together with religion, so that in our communities they build the churches and now call it St. Joseph or St. Mary, you know, and there people will be going to school studying there. And as you are studying as a child, as a baby, you know, they will make sure that they infuse you, they force you. You must be forced into going through the religion. Because I could remember even during my primary school, we used to pray, is it Angelus? I don't know, I've forgotten what they call it. During break time and during a line of assembly, we sing a hymn and pray this and that, you know. So they cleverly joined all these things together. But you cannot see any St. Martha's school in Europe. That, you know, but in Africa, that is what one clever thing they did, so that in the mindset of people, they will tell you, if not for this religion, how we couldn't have gone to school or obtained this education, which are two things. It's not true. Like what you said about this Islamization, and you know, our people, when we call it Islam, hey, everybody becomes is something strange. Because that was not our way, our system. Okay. That is exactly the same way our forefathers felt. You know? And the Fulani, what they are doing is Fulanization. Clever way through Islamization. Wanda, go on, please, go on.
Yeah, because even when we talk, that's another point that I would like our people to think through. When, again, I'm not bashing any religion, I'm here as a neutral person. When you speak about Christianity, let them ask themselves, to what country is Christianity should be native of? It's not Rome. It's not Rome. The same thing the Fulanis are trying to do to us, that was what the Romans did. The origin of that religion is from the land of Israel. Whatever you may call Israel. That was the origin. But what happened was the Romans hijacked it, took it to them, changed it. And then it became Roman Catholic. That's when they injected their own way of life. So in essence, in effect, what we are trying to say here is this. And it never came easy. They got everybody through conquest, including Muslim, Islamic religion. So what our people must understand is this. Look at what is happening. Before I left Nigeria, before I left Biafran land, it was not easy to see any Islamic temple in our land. Gradually, our people are converting to them. And people are saying, oh, don't worry, there's nothing they can do. That's a lie. That was exactly the way they conquered our ancestors. one at a time. Because once you begin to have one or two people, begin to pay attention to them, to what they're doing, it's a matter of time. This is why we must be awake. We must be alert. Again, I'm not asking anybody not to be a believer in whatever they want to believe. But my argument is this. All these religions are foreign to us. And we should not be fighting because of it. We are not even promoting our own religion. Let's focus on spiritualism, which I believe that is where this thing is going.
Now,
but I don't like to say
let me ask you, can somebody be spiritual without being religious? Please, you can expatiate on that.
I would say no. Let me put it this way, because I'm being careful. I look at religion as a gateway to spiritualism. The point is, when you use the word religiosity or religion is something you perform regularly. Sometimes you don't even understand why you're doing it. You just do it. It may not make any sense to you, but just because it feels good, that's religion, religiosity. It's an act. Why did I pause and say no? Even though, example I gave from the Bible, Job, he was practicing spiritualism because he was going directly. He was not an organized society. As a person, as his own family, he was communicating with Almighty God. But it was something he performed every day. So in that case, religion is interwoven with spiritualism. That's where people are missing it. But my argument is that a lot of us are caught up in religiosity. Religion is the concept of man. It's something that is created by man to give the flesh comfort, to give us that hunger to start yearning to go to higher hierarchy. That is why somebody like me will tell you, I have no particular interest for any religion, but I do not condemn any religion. But we must rise above it, because when you get stuck into religion, that's when you start saying, this is my own, this is not my own. It brings all this unnecessary division, and then that is how you can conquer people, divide and rule. But if I look at you as Mazi, first, you are the creation of you are the highest creation of God Almighty. When I encounter you, the first thing that should come into my mind is not trying to find out your religious affiliation. I'll be looking at you as a human being. I should realize that what affects you affects me, because in this world we are connected, whether we know it or not. So anything I cannot do to myself or allow somebody to do to me, I will not do it for you. I will not do it to you. Because you see where spiritualism begins to take shape. So it's your translation of mind, knowing that we are all one before that Almighty God, that He did not create religion, is the concept of man. So I will look at you first and see what you're coming from. Do you have the right spirit? If you have it, you are my brother, you're my sister. Your religion is secondary to me. It shouldn't be the primary thing. It should never be. Going back to our own tradition, before the white man came, ask yourself questions. They didn't have security outfits. They didn't have any soldier. They didn't have any military guarding the society. Yes, there were crimes, but they were petty crimes. I never say people were not killed, but people were more afraid of God Almighty than today. We have too many religions. Ask yourself why. Because people knew the power of God. People realized and they knew, they witnessed, when you violate Almighty God, you pay immediately. Now somebody will ask me a question. Oh, people were kidnapped, people were killed. That was when iniquity entered. Because the heart of man is deceitful. When the iniquity and wickedness entered, and who perpetuated it, who encouraged it? When the colonizers came in and saw that we have a unique religion and values on the ground, people work together as a family. Communal effort. I remember even when I was in secondary school in Nigeria, most of the secondary school and high school that were built were community efforts. That was how it was done. Some of them, my parents contributed to it. What am I saying here? they began to devise a means. In those days, if somebody commits or corrupts the religion or corrupts the deity or corrupts the worship of God, if they were individual, they were not highly organized like we have today, there was a penalty. Or the people will come out and pray and nature will take care of it. Or you'll be ostracized. Let me tell you one of the game they did, which is what they're doing today. When you commit those atrocities and you're asked to come and pay penalty or repent, the white man, the colonizers went behind and told you, you didn't have to do that. We have a God. All you have to do is say, hey, forgive me. They will take you and put you in a school. They will pay your school fees. That was where the rebels started. That was how we started having all these high chiefs. These, what do you call, paramount chiefs.
Warrant chiefs.
We didn't have them. These were ex-criminals. They found a hiding place in this new religion. But the same people that brought the thing to, that is why we must go back to history. Most people that founded America, it was almost the same game plan. When they were expelled from Britain, they came down here and started a new colony. They took that same playbook, came to us. So now that encouraged people to continue to commit crime or criminality. And those who were trying to implement the law of the land, the guidance of the land,
demonized them.
They demonized them and even imprisoned some of them. It was a matter of time. Evil became a norm. That was what happened to us. And that's what we are trying to unravel. To understand that our ancestors were not stupid. Anybody talking about we couldn't have gone to school? The same school system, the Western civilization that is talking to you, couldn't hide the fact that civilization started in Africa. What do you mean? If my ancestors were so dumb, if African ancestors were so dumb, they were the first to develop the first writing ever known to man. Some of the edifices, some of the structures they put together, today, science is still trying to unravel them. They cannot. The same people that are telling you that your ancestors were stupid, didn't know anything. I'm a student of Egyptology. There was this great healer called Imhotep. Imhotep was such a healer that even when he died, people were excavating his bone, drinking it. When they drank it, they drink it, believing that he had healing powers. Imhotep. This man was, Egyptians were the first people that performed surgery through their embalmment procedures. Some of the things our ancestors came up with have been hidden today. That is why we must go back to history. Even though a lot of them have been hidden, we must go back and re-educate ourselves. Because when you know who you are, then you can stand tall and tell your story from your own perspective, Mazi. I yield for now.
Okay. You know, like when we talk about religion, as I used to say, many people will start thinking about the known world religions or the most popular ones, Christianity, Islam, Judaism, this and that. No. Also, religion is simply the culture of a people, which guides their daily lives. Now, you know, when we talk about for example, religion, or this imported religion, imposed religion, I should say, we are not castigating, but we are laying out facts. Some people will say, oh, if not for this church, I wouldn't have succeeded. No. You know, there's something in human being. Many people don't understand. Even the religion, you can develop your own way of or connection to God. If you put it in your mind every blessed day and you continue practicing it, maybe before you go out, you pour water on this, you believe that once you go, you meet good luck, all this and that. You know, you do this, you know, lie down, anyhow you want it. Before God and man, once you continue practicing it with belief, you will see it will be working, because this is what is deceiving some of our people. They'll tell you, if it's not good, why it is working for me. It doesn't necessarily mean that once you go here and pray in a church and pray, that as far as it works for you, now it is the best. No, that is one thing our people should understand. The work there is your heart, your belief.
Positive thinking.
Your positive thinking is what matters.
The power of positive thinking. That's what it is.
Human beings have great power only if you can discover it. We humans are the creator. God, the creator, created us with huge power. That is why sometimes when you have positivity on something, without you going to mosque or to believing on that Jew on this and that, you see that thing unfolding. That is the power in you. But many people, instead of discovering that power in them, now it is when they go to one either native doctor or to that Jew or to imam or to juju person, they believe that positive thinking they should have direct in them. Now they confer it to that intermediary. And you see, and there, that is where the mistake some of our people are making. Once you have positive thinking, believe on something, like as our HOD said sometime when I interviewed him on Tough Talk. He said something which is also the reality. I asked him, are you being paid by IPOB? He said, of which I know. He said, no. Instead, he put his own. Now, I asked him a question. I said, how then do you cope up with this tedious job with your own private business or work? And he said something that, you see this Biafra, this restoration we are in, if you are genuinely in this, I'm telling you, Chukwu Okike Abiyama has a way of opening doors for you. You don't need to go to temple to pray for anointing or this and no. And once he said that, I said, yes, he struck a chord. Because it's the same experience. It's the same. That is why we say Biafra is our religion.
Yes.
You understand? So, but yes. Many people, some people will say no, because once they have one type of problem, or Nigeria is a place where the government doesn't work. So there is no functioning of the government doesn't function. So people have problems everywhere. So they need somebody, a place of solace, in order to go and vomit their problems, so that they will give them hope. And after one thing or the other, that so-called miracle, or they will get a job out of maybe millions of people, only 2 will get a job, and they will come and say, because I come here, that is why it was. And that is it's not true. It's manipulation. Yes, it's manipulation. because
Mazi, not interjecting rudely.
Go on.
Mazi, I want to take our minds back. Those who have been listening to Mazi, our Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, every prediction he has made are coming to fruition. At the time he was making this call, he never said, God told me. He made this prediction and believed strongly on the words he was speaking. He continued to project them. Even what is happening today, you guys have been playing some of his videos where he's saying, Nigerian government cannot kill me. They don't have the ability to kill me. I have not done anything that is against the law known to man. He has been confessing, projecting these words even before they abducted him. Do you see, or can we see how his utterances are coming to be? Because he believed in what he wasn't just saying it. He believed in them. And because he believed in them, what people like me call universal consciousness took note. So even when these idiots went to abduct him, they made the biggest error. There is power in spoken word. Even the person you're going to, I'm not saying don't go wherever that gives you emotional comfort, but mind you and be mindful that pastor you're going to, that imam you're going to, the native healer you're going to is working on the power of positive thinking and utterances. They will tell you by his grace. By Chukwu Okike, they are believing that the word they're releasing, God will auction it at the time they're speaking to you. Because they believe most of the time. I'm not talking about the fake ones. That thing they're telling you comes to be. You can do the same thing, but it's because when you speak or when I speak, I don't even believe in what I'm saying. I just say it because it feels good. I just say it because somebody said it. That is the hard work you guys have been doing on Radio Biafra. Trying to make our people not just to speak. Do your homework. Then believe in that which you're pronouncing. Because there is power in what we say. If you cannot believe in yourself, if I cannot believe in myself, if I cannot trust in myself, even it's in the Christian Bible, even if Ancient of Days come down today and gives me instruction, I will not believe. That's why it's called a belief. When you believe in something, then you begin to take actions that will match your belief. Then you get results. That is why somewhere in the Christian Bible it said, faith without works are dead. Now, moving quickly, because I know we have spent a little bit of time, I want to bring this issue before I forget. You know, about religion. That is why I keep saying, when I use that word and I believe it's the same thing you're propagating, there is no religion that is better than the other. I'm going to use this story. I had it when I was in elementary school. It's the story of 6 blind men. Blind men. They were blind from birth. They never seen an elephant in their life, but they have heard about elephant. So they went on excursion, and each person was exposed to a particular part of that elephant. When they came back, number one was asked, how can you describe elephant? Remember, they couldn't see, it was just a feeling. The one that felt the leg said elephant is like a tree. The one that felt the ear said elephant is like a fan. The one that felt the tail said, oh, it's like a tiny little rope. Each individual gave their own account based on their own personal experience. The question becomes, were they wrong? No. They were not wrong. But they were they absolutely right? No. Because what they experienced was half truth. But when you bring all their experiences together, they told the truth. That is religion. There is no religion that is greater, because there is no religion where you have everyone is perfect. None whatsoever. So your religion, my religion is not greater than any other person. But if I have the opportunity and the zeal or manipulation to make you believe that what you believe is lesser than mine, that is the game that has been playing on us. And I hope we wake up and realize that. God is the God of all. He's not respecter of any religion. He didn't create any. Mazi, I yield.
Okay. Going on, because I will open our line in no distant time. But I want to stress,
yes, sir,
that religion is simply the culture of a people, which guides their daily lives. But in order to subjugate, conquer and control others, these subjugators sell their culture in the form of religion, so as to make it more palatable and to give a fake sense of salvation to the conquered. That is mental enslavement.
Exactly.
This makes the subjects not to see themselves as conquered or subjugated, just like the Hausa. Rather, they see themselves as saved people that should be thankful to their oppressors. Do you see it? You know,
yes,
that is the very smart part of it. They subjugate you, sell their culture, sell what they have another motive. The motive, the real motive is to control you, but they sell their culture in the form of religion. So that, you cannot be perfect practicing another person's culture, because he will be there to correct you, to put he is your master always. There is something people should understand also. It's worthy of understanding. During the time of the Crusades, now they contextualize crusade as preaching the gospel, but it was not like that before. The real meaning of crusade is fighting, is war, fighting. That is it. During the time of crusades, some of those who fought in the name of God were recognized as milites Christi. This is a Latin word meaning soldiers or knights of Christ. Knights, K-N-I-G-H-T-S. Knight or knights of Christ. Knight. These knights, they are mad now. They change all these things. You didn't know how this thing started. In this modern time, these soldiers or knights of Christ has been pacified the same way crusade is, and given as honorary membership to Catholic and Protestant church adherents. Don't forget that the Crusades were a series of military campaigns that took place during the 11th through 13th centuries against Muslim conquest. That is what our people should understand, because we are laying bare all these things for people. This is for you to open your mindset. When they take God, no person have a monopoly of God. Just as you said, God doesn't create any religion. It's a human creation. The way you think that, I follow like this, and I saw a dream because I fasted for 20 days or 40 days. Now I saw this is what they say. This is a way to reach the Creator. And before you know, you started selling it, people will follow you and say, this is a way. It's a human creation. That is religion we are seeing today. But what is absolutely bad is us demonizing our own culture, our own way of life. Let me tell people, there is no perfect culture. These Europeans you see, they were cannibals during the medieval. I'm telling you honestly, they committed atrocities. They fought more wars than even in Africa. Tribal wars, I would say. But as time goes on, that is evolution of a human being. You can learn. Do you know that the Europeans learned from Africa? Even our
exactly. That's the point I was making.
Yes, but they will not tell you. People don't know. Even they came to our land, they see our art, they saw our civilization, and they marveled because we had insipidity. In order to continue demonizing us, they scrapped it. One scientist is a British scientist that saw, he marveled because he saw in insipidity. They excavated that, look, there was court proceedings recording in Inchibidi, which means that we had, before Europeans came, we were judging people, we had court proceedings, but he hid all those things, and he said, how can these monkeys be civilized in this way? Now they demonize. You know what he wrote on his record? He said this language is being taught to them by monkeys, by chimpanzees. It's the language of chimpanzees, and that is it. Now they are going to hieroglyphic writing in Egypt. People don't understand that when they talk about that Egypt, the early civilization, it is still our own people. Because Egypt that is being populated today by Arabs, it was not like that before.
Because when Mazi, 1 minute, please.
Yes.
Because when when people hear Egypt, they're looking at the present Egypt. Go back to the ancient map. It started from all the way. Covered Ethiopia, covered Sudan, all those places, because just like in those days, when you hear a party like Egypt, it's a vast area. when you call kingdom. And these were the Nubians. These were native Africans.
You call the name of one of the pharaohs. You say it's Isotop or what is it? Does it sound an...
He was a healer. He was a healer. Imhotep.
Okay.
Imhotep.
Okay.
He was the greatest healer ever lived till today. The greatest, go and check it. I'm a student of Egyptology. Imhotep, even today they still reverence him. He was one of the first people that operated on human beings. You know, they started embalmment. That was how surgery started. Who taught them how to embalm? Remove all the organs, preserve them, stitched it back. We are talking about thousands of years ago. These were black Nubians. They were not white. They were not Arabs. They never practiced Muslim. They never practiced Christianity.
Before you can, please don't forget what you want to say. But let me say this in here.
Yes,
do you know that the number of what do you call it, pyramids in the present day Sudan is larger, is more than those in the present day Egypt? But do you know why it's not making wave? Because it's still occupied. Sudan is occupied by black people, so they relegate it to the background. Why should they promote it in the media so that they will see that black people have civilization or had civilization at any time? Now they are focusing on Egyptology, Egypt, so that people now will be thinking that, look, it's Arabs, it's still the white people. Do you see? They are smart.
That's why they call it. That's why they call it Middle East instead of Africa.
Yes.
They know what they're doing. Even going further, do you know we have step pyramids in Biafra land? Step pyramids.
Of course.
This is not a joke.
Of course.
We have step, but they have not been excavated. We have step pyramids scattered all over, but they will never allow you to know. Because when you begin to connect the dots, you see that at the time those step pyramids were built in Biafra land was the same time pyramids were being built all over, especially in Egypt. They had the same knowledge. They didn't have anything about organized religion. It was something of later. These were blacks. Right on.
Wanda, can I ask this? Just open. Why is it that our so-called, intellectuals or students in this line in our land, why is it that they don't enter into all this, trying to unravel our past? I don't know. We only believe that a white man must come in order to write our history for us. Why are our people not even, going into the ground or trying to unravel without minding the white people, unravel all these things so that our eyes will be open? Why do you think so?
Let me give you one or two answers from my perspective. One, the very first thing they did was they trained you, gave you their own education, their own understanding. The second thing they did was they are holding the economy. So he who holds power wills and yields it. So these educated ones you're talking about, for you to do even, think about Radio Biafra. How many of them are supporting it? They are scared because they so subjugated us into poverty, which is what Nigerian government is emulating. That now, when I'm going to school, or if I have gone to school, even when I know the truth, I will be afraid to speak up because they are the ones that are going to employ me. I want to get into research. I'm going to seek money from them. Why would they sponsor me to unravel the truth? Knowing fully well that if I unravel the truth, it's going to bring them, turn the table against them. And then the first thing is this. It was a white man that said it. If you want to hide something from a black man, put it on print. These are problems.
And also the selfishness in our character, because I could remember one of our leaders' broadcasts when he revealed that during his time in schooling, in school in the United Kingdom, He said that I think either 4 of them or 5 of them gathered, Africans from different countries in Africa. You know, they were classmates. You know, they gathered. They were always saying that, look, what is happening in Africa, that they have to change at least when they finish their education here in the United Kingdom, that they will go back, 4 or 5 of them, and gather, start with even any tiny African country, to go there to help to develop it. But lo and behold, he said when they finish, all of them get very nice jobs and money, and they forgot what they have pledged. So there is something. Black people, well, you know, we consider our stomach. Before you come in, there is something. You know, even it's in my timeline on Facebook. There are, you know, footballers, European professionals, you know, due to what is happening, so they wore shirts. Before they start, they wore the shirts, stop the war, you know, in Ukraine, this and that. They wore the shirt. I think 11 players, all of them wore it, but only one person is a Turkish. He said he didn't wear it, and he said why he did it is out of dignity. Because he said there are wars every time in the Middle East, in Africa. They don't talk about, they don't make all this noise. It doesn't, which means our lives doesn't matter. But I saw about 2 or 3 black people, Africans, even a Nigerian was there. All of them wear the shirt. Even they want to wear double self, because they feel that, you know, if that inconvenience, it will cause them to rebel against, you know, their ethics. You know, this is something black race. Black people, we prefer our stomach to our dignity. It's problematic. I don't know whether you have any other thing to say before I go on.
Exactly, that's what I said. Because they are feeling if they do that, they may lose their contract. So when they're playing their football, they're not really there to represent their own ethnicity or their own people. They are there as an individual to find their belly.
What about the Turkish white man that did? He said in his own mouth, he said he don't care what happens to his contract. That is not his. He said because if he wear that shirt, his conscience will not allow. He will regret it. Or why was he not wearing shirts of other people being killed every day? Now these people, because he said he don't care about his job. They don't care. They can.
That's what I'm trying to say. That is the difference between us. That is the difference between them and us. That's what I'm saying. The Turkish guy, even though he's there so that he can earn his living, but his country comes first. His belief comes first. Okay, our own is the reverse. We are there for our own belly. We are worried about losing that money because all we have been programmed is to think about. How am I being defined? The best, the most richest? It doesn't matter what happens to my neighbor. That was when I started making this argument. I said, until we understand that we are all connected. And when you say that, you have to start from your own people. All these things that have been happening in Biafra land, how many of our so-called elites are speaking out? They don't even have to do anything. Condemn evil. These are human lives that are being wasted. They're all silent and quiet because they don't want to lose whatever they think they are holding. But they forget that tomorrow is not guaranteed. They forget that I don't care. In the next 8 or 10 years, you may not be in that position. They are not thinking of tomorrow. They are thinking about now, which is about their belly. They are not thinking about integrity. They're thinking about what is it I can get now. The Turkish guy was not thinking about now. He was thinking about because he cares for his people. Look at even some of us are the one betraying the agitation. Tell me any right-thinking Igbo man, any right-thinking Biafran that can go and line up with our enemies, even if you don't want to be part of the agitation. Keep quiet. They know. They will go back. Look at what happened in Ukraine. Old men, children, everybody came out and lined up and said, kill us today. But look at what is happening among us. 40,000, 40 million strong outside Nigeria. We can't come together. Why is it easy?
Everybody wants to be the
Nigerian
head,
government.
the chief.
Exactly. Why is it that Nigerian government finds it so easy to penetrate us and begin to use us against ourselves? Why? There is something fundamentally wrong with us, with our minds. You don't have to tell me. If I love myself, if I love my culture, and these are the same people that will come out and tell you, oh, you should speak Igbo, oh, you should be like an Igbo. It's not about sentiment. What are you doing? I was watching a program today. Somebody was bold enough to come and to challenge the brothers they were speaking on one of these Biafran platforms. And they asked him, are you an Ipob member? He said no. Do you pay anything? No. Have you supported? No. But he came to accuse. But he's a Biafran. He's an Igbo person. So now you are an Igbo person. You don't support what is going on. You don't want to be part of the agitation. But you are an Igbo person. You're coming to complain that IPOB are not doing anything. Your money is not going into it. You can't even speak against what is happening. And you are an Igbo person. Because maybe you're comfortably sitting somewhere thinking you are out of the hoops. That's a lie. When the chief comes down, you're going to be affected directly or indirectly. But look at the stupidity of this young man. You are not even coming there to say kudos to those who are paying the contributing money. Kudos to those who are doing the speaking. Kudos to those who are even agitating in the bushes, protecting your relatives and your mothers. You are coming out to say that the IPOB organization is the problem. Today, before I came on air, thank God that one brother was so mad, he called into the program and said, get that bastard out of this. That's the problem. How many of our people, Ohaneze, the senator, the House of Assembly, the local chairman, everybody, are they not seeing what is happening? You want somebody else to come and fight your war. We can't even come together. So, Mazi, that is the problem. We are after our own belly. And people forget that once you eat food, the next thing is going down to the drain in the toilet. But it's your legacy for the future. We all feel comfortable to stay in a place called Western civilization, America or whatever. People forget that all these places fought wars. Look at what is happening in Ukraine. If they survive tomorrow, we'll be running down there to look for their citizenship. Why can't we get our own and establish it and let them come to us? Nothing good comes easy. Every good civilization is founded on bloodshed. That's the bottom line. Mazi, I'm going to yield, please.
Okay, before I open my line, there is also this thing I want to say, because I used to say this, because this is something that it worries me. You know, the first Europeans reached sub-Saharan Africa in 15th century. That is the Portuguese. 15th century, that is 1440 something. You know, so now they were that time. Since that time, you know, colonialization started after the sharing of Africa in Germany. What do they call it again?
Scramble of Africa, yeah, and the scramble.
1884, 1885. Yes, yeah, which is not too long. But the Europeans first landed in sub-Saharan Africa, in West Africa. That is the Portuguese in 15th century, 1442 to be precise. Okay, they came for business. They were looking for things to get where they will take something and buy all this and that. Now, they came to West Africa, came to our land, and they were doing business. They carry things from us. They sell to our ancestors that time things and carry from. They did exchange anyway. A time came, within small time, they started telling our own people, we need slaves to carry. They told our people, They started, taking our people, and now our people, we are collaborating with them, telling them that now we know who to go and capture for you. Don't worry, only for you to pay. That character is worrisome, because that was the character that started the fall of black race. I'm telling you, when the Europeans saw that this set of Homo sapiens can sell themselves to foreigners, albeit they knew that they were being treated, these their brothers they are selling to us just for money and fame, they were being treated less than human beings. And lo and behold, they still have the heart. They go to another community, subdue and conquer them, bring them, kill some, bring and give to Europeans, and Europeans will carry them to the Americas. That is the problem when our problem started. Now, when the Europeans saw this, we are dealing with them this. Now they say, that is when the cuckoo decides, say, these people that are doing very treacherous to themselves, we can just take them as lower human, as animals. That is when in 1884-85 they held the Berlin Conference under this man, the first the German vice chancellor at that time, Ottoman van how do you call this man's name? You enter my head and get out. Now they shared Africa, because Africa, we sold ourselves to them, and they saw our secret that these people, they are people that you can buy with money. So no, and that thing has been happening. And for your information, out of the total slaves sold from sub-Saharan Africa, more than 30-something% are Biafrans. I say more than, they call it Igbos. It's true, because that time everybody, both each other, were Igbos. That is true. Every language.
Yes, Mazi, quickly. The guy you were talking about was Otto von Bismarck.
Otto von Bismarck, exactly. So
go ahead.
Yeah. So that time every Biafran, they call everybody was Igbo, speaks Igbo. More than 30-something% are of the whole slaves are from our land. They are ones. All these things makes me to worry, to think and say, why? When this downgrading, lack of dignity, they crave to sell for fame and for money. You sell your brother. It didn't start today, and that is what makes even the Europeans to downgrade us into lower humans. Don't you see today they are calling for people to go and fight in Africans to go and fight in Europe, and people are going to register them. Don't you?
Citizenship.
We always supply manpower, and that manpower have nothing with. Oh, Chineke, I don't know. Sometimes I lack words.
And then we can't fight for our own. We are not ready to fight for ourselves, but we are ready to go for somebody else's citizenship. Even though we are looking at what is happening to Nnamdi, a British citizen, but in time of need, they have abandoned him. So now they need you. The time they will now acknowledge you as a human being is because they want you to go and fight their wars to give you citizenship. This is not even citizenship by birth. This is naturalized. They can strip it from you any minute after the war, and people are willing to go, but these individuals are not willing to defend their own. So our problem is deep, but that is where what you guys are doing. Hopefully you continue to drum it. It's a long battle, but I believe a lot of souls are being converted. A lot of people are hearing and listening. So hopefully we'll get there. But a lot of bad job was done on us, and it has been deeper. They didn't even start with giving our ancestors money. They started with giving them mirrors, gunpowders, and schnapps, and you took your own child or your neighbor's child and gave to somebody. They didn't even start with real money, and you go and create war with your neighbors. So after you created those walls, captured your people, set them into slavery, when the white man realized they had depleted your population, that was when they invaded you. But then you have sold off those young men that would have fought for you. That's what is repeating itself today.
Of course.
What Uzodimma is doing? Bringing the military, and our people are the ones pointing to our youth to be slaughtered. Then it's the same thing that the same playbook they're playing. When you finish eliminating these your youth, because probably they gave you a phone, or they promised you chieftaincy, or they promised you local government chairman, or they promised you whatever, or money. When the real invasion will come, there'll be nobody to fight. It's the same script they're trying to play. That is why this campaign, you guys can never relent. Maybe we'll get it. Maybe we'll get it. When Muhammad Buhari said, whether it is him or his impersonator, I don't know, but somebody with that name said, they are just like dogs. I will surround them and wipe them out. People thought he's going to come with a full-scale invasion. That's what is happening. Are we not surrounded? Is he not systematically eliminating us? But the most shameful thing is that we are the ones pointing to our youth. We are the ones inviting the military to come and kill our youth. Meanwhile, you have a caliphate controlling 2-3 states in the north. They are not invaded. Nobody's not making news. Their governors have not invited anybody. Their senators have, in fact,
they are protecting them.
They are protecting them. Nietiala is there making noise, protecting their people. Tell me, apart from IPOB, who is raising his or her voice? None. Meanwhile, systematically, our youths are being eliminated. These are the future of tomorrow. You think these people are going to relent? No. But may God help us. More strength to Mazi Johnathan. God will definitely protect and bring him alive. And more strength to people like you. More power. I yield to you.
There were all of us together. Before I open my line, just like what you said, you know, when they asked the impostor about the agitation for Biafra, you know what? If you go to that video, you see it. He didn't talk. He first of all went to. He said, "I am happy with the conversation, the assurance the South gave to me."
Yes,
it means a lot. Which means, yes, you know, the division, they have succeeded in, you know, that he's happy. He said they gave me assurance that I'm happy. He didn't talk about the so-called Southeast, where the agitation is more. He said, we've outflanked them, so we divided them. So their brothers have given me assurance that they are not with these people. So he gave them power. The same mistake we are making, selling ourselves for foreigners. And after we'll be shouting, God, where are you? While I see, it seems I'm going to open the lines. I don't know whether you have any quick or this thing before I open the lines.
No, let's hear maybe the questions they might throw in.
Okay.
Might help me to address one or two more points. If not, I reserve my submission.
Of course, we are here together. Do not forget that today we are talking about religion and humanity. That is the subject of our discussion. But mind you, we are not casting aspersions or, you know, demonizing any religion. It doesn't matter whether you are, if you want to worship cockroach. What we are talking about is that is your belief. That's
your belief. Rightfully so.
Yes. Of course. What we are trying to educate our people is, do not allow that belief that is being inserted in your head in order to be an obstruction to what we are doing. That is it. Use it in order to support what we are doing. That is the thing. I will go on a few minutes break, so that when we come back, we will open the line so that Biafrans will speak. Please don't go away.
Well said.